again, it's hard to tell when you're against a team like South Carolina State. But
Yeah.
he did everything, and I mean, and theoretically, he can work a 3-point shot into the mix. I mean, there's a lot of room to even get that much better, so which is scary.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm saying, I just threw that out there, just man, how good David Mom was, just because a lot of people forget about him, and Keith Lee was a whole nother nother level.
Yeah, William Bedford.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean there was
So but I quit that, but I like how they looked the first night. That's how they were supposed to do. And Penny is going to surprise a lot of people. He's not going to surprise me. But the best part about Penny's game is his coaching. He's probably one of the best coaches in the game already. And I just feel like this team will go far. I'm not going to say what they're supposed to do or what they should do, but it's no doubt Penny, he's a good coach, and the season coach came all the way up at every level and won. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just really a natural progression, and you can see when he wants to run sets, the guys execute. That's what I like about it, right there.
That's absolutely.
There's no question about the rhyme, reason, what they're doing, and I really think they probably should have hired Penny when they hired Josh Passon to begin with, but that's another story for another day.
It is better late than never, but it's here. So
Jay,
appreciate the phone call. Thank you, Jay. I mean, as far as debuts go, it was as good as you could possibly hope for. And then I thought overall notable as well last night, CJ, was Precious Achiuwa in his somewhat more limited action, just 17 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little concerned about 3 fouls, but otherwise, I mean, the guy, to watch some of the versatility, that's the thing that excites me, especially alongside Wiseman when he's allowed to play, as a 4
Mm-hmm.
and kind of, not have to be, a bigger player. He can do more wing type stuff. But he had 2 or 3 times where he would just grab the ball off that defensive rebound and then just go, and looked really good with the handle. Could drive the ball, had ability, had speed, had the ability to get around guys, drop off some passes. I mean, there was one sequence where he dropped off a pass to Lance Thomas off of that, and Thomas walked to kind of ruin a highlight. But he went down and looked in open court like he's got open court skills.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the kind of stuff that I think from a standpoint of drafting the guy or whatever down the line, he has some potential to be a really Swiss Army knife, unique kind of player, because I don't know there's a lot of 6'9" dudes that can have the length and can defend like he can, that also can go grab a rebound and drive it as hard as he did like that. It was impressive.
Is this how you watch college basketball? With this guy in the NBA is going to, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think I know anybody who watches
college
basketball that way.
I enjoy watching college basketball, but especially now when we get to the tournament, I'll watch for
enjoyment,
for the competitive.
Yeah.
No, I mean that is how I enjoy.
That's how you enjoy it.
Yeah. That is enjoyable to me, is to watch and see what would I do with this guy? What would I do with that? What's his skill set? What's he good at? What would I like? Same thing with watching the Kentucky Michigan State game.
And that's why I asked, because you brought up.
Yeah.
Be nice to see this Maxey kid alongside.
I think what would that look like? What would he do? Where would I play him in that situation? I think it's especially early on in the season and last night with the Tiger game. It wasn't a competitive game really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you knew what was going to happen. The other games were competitive. The ones in New York, we can talk about those a little bit too. But it's different because it's so early. The quality of the game wasn't very good in general. It got better. The Kentucky Michigan State game got better late. And Kentucky was the most impressive team in that, but there was a lot of just turnovers and just ugly basketball in general. So what rings my bell is more the strategic side of I'll watch. I mean, I do. I'm not only watching for that, but that is definitely a component of my experience. Watching the game and stuff. I like that.
Okay, nothing wrong with it. I was just I don't know anybody, because you referenced it 2 or 3 times. This player gets the NBA. It's going to be interesting to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anybody who's watching college basketball with the thought of, hey, who would draft this guy? Where would I like to see him drafted?
Mm-hmm.
Where would he probably grow and fit the best?
Mm-hmm.
That is fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Now I have to start watching it that way.
You don't have to, but it's
well,
fun.
I mean,
What
it
you
would
do
be
is kinda
interesting.
fun.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to look at it from that perspective, because when I watch it, it's just, oh, college kids playing basketball. That one is good. That one isn't. Let's do this.
Well, and also because like sometimes especially in games like that where everyone on the Tiger team is significantly more talented than the opposition. So it's not like, to me, there's not much interest in, they're going to play, like I might be like, if you're going to play 2-3 zone or something like that, that'd be interesting to see against South Carolina State. But like, I mean, I'm not watching because you're not even really picking up that much about the scheme because the scheme is so overloaded by the fact that these guys are just a million times better. So it's more about, now let's project out what happens, and you can even project out like what happens when they play Oregon or what happens when they play. Like you could start to project against the better teams. You were talking about athletes and stuff.
Yeah.
That's why in Tennessee, like Yves Pons is probably the only guy that athletically is going to be in the same neighborhood as some of these dudes. So like that's part of it. But in terms of like competitive basketball and like you're really getting into the X's and O's of it, unless you're scouting South Carolina State or something like that, like some of the coaches would. No. There's no doubt. The outcome was never in doubt.
Right. So you may as well watch it.
You may as well watch with
and fantasize about what
well,
might
think
be.
about like let's think about like what like that's why I'm higher on Achua than I mean I think a lot of people are high on him. It's not like a lot of people have him as a lottery or close to a lottery pick potentially already before the season even starts.
Yeah.
But I'm higher on him than some because I think that what I talk about that array of skills is really valued. Like as a player to be able to have length and good defensive instincts to go along with that length. So you're not just flailing around out there and, behind the play, like you can figure out what's going on. Has, decent rebounding ability, it would appear. Can then go and make plays himself, not only, just finishing, but also passing. And then he has 6'9" and all those other things. Yeah, like that stuff's like, oh, okay. Like, oh, all right. So you could play 3, 4, 5 in a small system. You could defend multiple positions. Okay, now you got my attention. Like, okay. That's why I call him a little Pascal Siakam. Like Siakam kind of came out of nowhere, similar sort of build and like length and stuff. And then like, sometimes when he handled the ball, you'd think, oh, maybe this is, maybe you shouldn't be handling it quite so much. But he developed, and now he is kind of like a little Giannis, little poor man's Giannis in his skill set. That's where it starts. You generate that stuff, and then you build on it. So I think Achua can be in that vein for Memphis. Obviously not nearly that good yet, but in that for what Memphis wants to do, I think he can do a lot of those things, which is very exciting as a player because I don't see too many of those guys in college. And
the mismatches that get created because he can do those types of things.
Especially in college.
Especially in college. You talked yesterday about how dominant James Wiseman can be, especially on the defensive end. We've seen like really good big men, really athletic, super aware, high basketball IQ big men really dominate the paint in college basketball. Well, when you got a player who's also a big, who is that versatile and that athletic on the offensive end, like they dominate all. Kevin Durant dominated as well. And a lot of that is due to the fact that he was so long, so large. Same reason why he dominates now, because he was so long, so large, and so versatile on the offensive end of the court. And anytime you can get, the more people, Peter, you have on the court who can get the ball and go, the better your offense is, because that leads to easy buckets in transition. You don't always have to stop and find a point guard to give the ball to or find a guard to get the ball to. If you got a 6'9" dude who's playing 4 for you, who can just grab the ball and go, that's going to lead to some good things for you on the offensive end of the court.
Transition is so much easier that way. When everyone can handle a little bit, it's
and now everyone's going to different spots. So as a defender, it is okay. I have no clue what's going to happen when he hits this spot. I'm not used to him being on the block with this. I'm not used to this guard being on the block with this 6'9" dude with the ball driving down the court, driving down the paint.
Well, yeah, and you go and you hit those spots. Like NBA style transition. Now is as much about going out and hitting like the corner three, like go and hit your corner three spots, go and be the trailing big and pull that three. Like, that's really hard for defenders in transition to identify who they're supposed to go and find. Like, okay, well, if I'm, if Precious is taking the ball and he's driving in transition, and Quinones goes and spots up, or Damian Ball goes and spots up. Well, one of the bigs that's supposed to be taking Achua is probably not with him in transition at this point. So now one of those guards has identified him. Okay, well now one of the bigs. Well, now that's an easy drive off the kick. Or if the big doesn't go out there because he's just confused about what to do, that's an easy dish and an open shot opportunity. So like that stuff is those kind of points that you can type of points you can manufacture like that in transition and just getting better opportunities for yourself. That over the course of a game, that's gonna really pay off big time. So I'm excited to see how those guys look. I actually thought just watching the guy, DJ Jeffries looked really interesting. Like his size, he had some really nice passing ability. I mean, he finishes with darn near a 4x5.
Yeah,
which is a hard stat to get. 5 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 blocks. Love that stat line. And he looked good. Like watching the eye test kind of like matched up. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, all right. I see what you're doing out there. I was very impressed.
And you need him to be that experienced. Zach and I talked when you left yesterday about like where does leadership come from on this team? It could come from DJ. It could definitely come from a guy who's doing the little things, getting the rebounds, getting the blocks, getting the assists, getting a couple of points here and there. Somebody who's been there and done that before. It can definitely come from him. And that is why that stat line to me is impressive and is important, because it shows he has an ability to do the dirty stuff, the stuff that really won't come up in the stats books, although these do, but the hustle plays, the sacrificing of the body, the going out there and making sure everybody knows where you're supposed to be at. When things get going rough, and they will against Oregon, they will against Tennessee, they will against Houston, they will against Cincinnati. When things get going rough, you need a security blanket, you need a binky you can hold on to and say, okay, and it can be DJ. It might not be with a big-time bucket. It might just be with a heady play. It might be with a deflection that leads to a fast break opportunity. It might be a rebound that he grabs that leads to an outlet pass that gets them going on a break. He can be that for them. And that is huge. That is huge, because up till today, last night rather, we hadn't seen what happens in games, and I wasn't quite sure who was going to be that player for this team.
We'll see. Let's take a break. We'll come back, continue to talk about college basketball after a busy night. Last night, we'll also get into the CFP playoff rankings, all that stuff when we continue here on The Experience. Sports 56 961 87.7.
Take Sports 56 with you on your phone or tablet. Download our official Sports 56 app today.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition. You need to sell your home quickly? Call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between, in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
Napa know-how. Now at Napa Auto Parts stores and Napa Auto Care Centers, buy a 2-pack of Night Vision Brilliant headlamps and get a pair of Proformer wiper blades free. Because when you put safety first, your equipment shouldn't be second rate. So upgrade to Napa Night Vision Brilliant headlamps and get a pair of Proformer wiper blades free. Do it yourself or have it done for you. That's Napa know-how. Napa know-how. At participating Napa Auto Parts stores and Napa Auto Care Centers. Some restrictions apply while supplies last. Offer ends 12/31/19.
During the weekend at Sunrise on Jefferson, there are plenty of people that spend a long, leisurely time enjoying not just the great fresh food, but the atmosphere at Sunrise as well. But we know not everyone's weekend is the same. For some people, the weekend might be Wednesday or Thursday. That's why Sunrise leaves up the amazing Bloody Mary bar all week long. Just because your weekend is different doesn't mean you don't deserve the same joy as everyone else. So don't worry about the people around you that are going back to work. You just take on that Bloody Mary bar and see what joy you can make for yourself. Have a drink at Sunrise. At Sunrise, if you'd like.
Campbell Clinic now offers daytime walk-in care, and you don't need an appointment. If you've got any kind of urgent break, sprain, strain, you can walk into any of their 5 convenient locations Monday through Friday from 8 until 4. There's no long wait you have to put up with the ER, and those doctors are really good, but they're not orthopedists. They're not world-renowned orthopedists who have come up with different procedures and written the manuals for them that are used everywhere in the world, and I'm not kidding you. And you can now see those doctors who treat the Tigers, the Grizzlies, the Redbirds. You can see them today without an appointment. And I'm talking Collierville, Germantown, South Haven, downtown at the Med Center, or even the Campbell Clinic Spine Center in Cordova. Now, if you've got something pressing, you got to go to work, and you can bear the pain until the evening, there's Campbell Clinic After Hours. That's Monday through Thursday from 5 to 8 in Germantown, South Haven, even Saturday morning in Germantown. If you're injured, don't wait. Visit Campbell Clinic Walk-In Care or Campbell Clinic After Hours.
Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt. This hour of the Experience is brought to you by Mid-South Power Distributors. All things diesel for over 26 years. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
One of the great shows of all time. Maybe the greatest. You watch Golden Girls?
Do I watch Golden Girls? No. Thank God.
Why not? Which Golden Girl are you?
I think I am Dorothy. I think I'm Dorothy.
You're kind of the sarcastic.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. He invited everyone.
I think I'm a combination of Dorothy and Blanche.
Dorothy and Rose. I think
Little
we can
Rose.
go combo. Dorothy and Rose.
But Blanche liked to party.
Yeah, Blanche. Boy, Blanche was getting it, boy.
She was getting it.
Whoa.
Good for her.
When I first got here to the great city of Memphis, I lived with my girlfriend at the time.
You lived with Blanche?
No, my girlfriend at the time. It was not Blanche. Devereaux.
Was it Rue McClanahan? Was she
No.
your girlfriend?
No.
Oh, man.
But
CJ dated Rue McClanahan. This
that would
is
be
wild.
that would have been
Learned everything.
interesting. No, I didn't realize how often it was on.
How often it was on?
How often
You
it was on.
You miss Austin?
No. How often? Well, yes, but how often it was on.
Mm-hmm.
Could get up at 8, it would be on the Oxygen channel for like 4 hours. Then you flip over to Lifetime, another 2 hours. Then you go to Bravo channel for another 4 hours. It was just always on my TV.
Flipping Oxygen and then like, okay.
I wasn't doing it. I was a visitor in her house. She was doing
it?
Yes.
God bless her. God bless her. Well, that's good. She exposed you to some good stuff.
Well, I mean, my granny had exposed me. My mom had exposed me. I'd seen all the episodes. Like, why are we still watching these old ladies?
Because they're just getting it. It's great. It's fantastic. So texter at 67129, the First Bank text line here as we are in the Family Leisure Studios. The texter says, Wiseman was electrifying. His mere presence brings out the best in the rest of the team. Thomas was a nice surprise. Reminded me of the tough Tigers of old. There was some toughness, definitely some size. You could see this team being very physical if they want to be. And the amount of versatility, fact they started all the freshmen, that was a first, and they all deserve to start. Played Damian Baugh rock solid, everything you could want. 8 assists, 2 steals, didn't miss a shot, 3 of 3. I mean, that's beautiful right there. And once that 3 ball starts to fall just a little bit, then this team is you could see why there is the highest of hopes. This team has got at the very least Sweet 16 written all over it, and I would say once you get to the tournament, CJ, all bets are off.
Yeah,
we were talking about how I watch college basketball and stuff like that, because college basketball is such a it can be. You pick up 2 early fouls and like a guy can just not be part of it. There's all kinds of things that happen in college basketball. The refereeing is extremely inconsistent. Stuff happens, but this team should be able to get to the tournament based on, what if this group plays to their capabilities and based on the schedule that they're going to see, they're going to rack up, high 20s in wins without trying real hard. And if they do that and they are good in the postseason conference tournament, which they should be, then there's no reason why they won't be a 2 or 3 seed at least in the tournament. And then if they're a 2 or 3 seed in the tournament, then they should make the Sweet 16 without a whole lot of difficulty. And then from there, anything can happen. I mean, that's
upsets happen. Instead of playing a 4, you get a 10 or 11 seed. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I mean the other way too. Like you could be a really good team and you lose in the Sweet 16 to another really good team. You know, we've seen that would be like a 2 versus a 3.
Yep.
You know, like that stuff happens. Like I think once for this team, there's certain teams where like you need to get to the Final Four. This team, I think, if they get to the Sweet 16, it's understandable. And anything that happens beyond that is gravy. Like you might make a run all the way to the championship. That certainly could happen, or you might lose. But when you're in that situation, second weekend of college of the tournament, then that's where you want to be. And then stuff happens. But you start racking up multiple Sweet 16 appearances, that kind of stuff. It's like people saying like Jack Calipari at Kentucky, like, oh, he's only won 1 championship. Dude he's on 5 Final Fours. Like, I mean, stuff happens. Like basketball is, if you take it down to a 1-game scenario against good teams, stuff's gonna happen. So like, I don't look at it like that. To me, it's similar to like the bowl game in college. Like you get to the bowl game you need to get to. Whatever happens in the game, stuff happens. Like but it's about getting to that spot.
But everybody needs to get to different bowls.
Correct.
That is the
absolutely
thing.
You're supposed to get to.
You can't be Florida State, who's supposed to get to top tier bowl, and kicking it at one of the random bowls on December 17th.
Correct. No, you need to meet your expectations. But once you do that, then
the Monkey Car Care Bowl.
The Monkey Car Care Bowl.
Monkey. Isn't that how you say Monkey? No. Yeah. How do you say it?
Meineke.
Oh, there we go. I just say Monkey.
I just said the Monkey Car Care Bowl. I was like, well, listen.
That's cool. That's another bowl game we can fit out there.
It might be. A bowl. How's the bowl watch list going?
Akron is in. Akron is in.
We've already set the bid out.
Akron is there. Have they played Rutgers? I don't want a rematch.
No.
Like it might be Akron Rutgers. Arkansas
Rutgers has kind of played a little bit better of late, so I'm a little concerned about them. Arkansas is
still there. It could be Akron, Arkansas, which is AKR versus ARK, which would be outstanding.
Ooh.
In our hotel ballroom of a football field.
Gun battle, the AK versus the AR. Could be down in the Keys.
Yes.
For those that don't know, long-time listeners to the show will know, we're working on a bowl, which is pitting the 2 worst teams in college football together.
So they can say they got to a bowl game.
A bowl, and we're just going to call it a bowl. So you say, we got to a bowl. And you did. The worst game of the year. Akron is already getting the bid. They're right there.
Akron's in.
God bless them. Great job, Akron.
No, they've been outscored like 131-9 since September.
Yeah. That's why I consistently bet against them. It's beautiful. Let's take a break. We'll come back. Hour number 2 on the way. We're going to talk a little CFP because that's what we talked about there. Not just a bowl, but we'll talk about the actual college playoffs and all that good stuff. Akron not in that list, sadly, for them. We'll come back and continue here in the Family Leisure Studios. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 961 87.7.
Audible turns commuting into opportunity. Use the Audible app to learn something new every day. Listen 100% ad-free to the world's leading experts on parenting, budgeting, career, and relationships. Get inspired by Dave Goggins' powerful memoir, Can't Hurt Me, and hear advice from Mel Robbins on how to take control of your life, exclusively from Audible. Start a 30-day Audible trial, and your first audiobook is on us. Visit audible.com.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurts. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. I'll tell you how I became the prince of a town called Bel Air.
Oh, this is the extended version? This is the one with the second verse.
This is the one with the second verse.
In West Philadelphia,
Born and raised. Most of my days.
Yep. Get it. Go.
Shooting some b-ball outside of the school.
What?
They were up to no good.
What?
Got in one little fight.
Hold on, wait.
And then the
Pull it
next
back
verse,
up. Pull it back up. There it
No one
is.
knows this one. This is the.
Hey.
Now what? This is where the story's like, wow. Like this, he's living in West Philadelphia. He's grown up, and then all of a sudden he gets in one fight. Seemed like a good kid by all accounts. You know,
He was a troublemaker. We saw the episode where he went back to Philly.
but he had a good heart. Like, you know.
Yeah, he had. There's a lot of good-hearted people, Peter, who end up in precarious situations.
And one fight though, and his mom says, "You're gonna move with your aunt and uncle who are incredibly wealthy in Bel Air, California, and we're gonna send you out there first class."
Well, the aunt and uncle paid for the ticket, I'm sure.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, she should, mom should move. I mean, let's all go over to Bel Air. Let's all hang out.
It's like a total rags to riches, but
It is like they're like, call it like Uncle Phil and Viv and be like, Will got in a fight and I'm scared. Can he live with you? Cool. All right. See you.
I will.
Can you go ahead and give me that first class ticket? Can we get that squared away? Thank you. Appreciate that. Will.
I'm sure that she didn't ask for the first class. I'm like, hey, do you mind? I can't afford to fly him out. Do you mind flying him out? And Aunt Viv was like, you know what? That's my nephew.
Which Aunt Viv?
Got him. Dark-skinned Aunt Viv. The dark-skinned one. Was like, yo, I got you. And she flew him out. Was like, at first class. He's never flown on an airplane. We want to make it as enjoyable as possible. Philip, let's fly him out here first class.
So CJ, which Aunt Viv is your favorite?
The dark skin.
The dark skin one, or the one with the caramel complexion?
Not the caramel one. No, the dark skin one. There was a certain sass to her that I vibed with.
I preferred her as well.
The lighter skinned one reminds me of Hillary Clinton for some reason. I'm not really sure why.
I'm not gonna lie to you, like the dark skin Aunt Viv, like she kind of scared me in like one of those episodes where she like got into like Carlton and Will. That one episode, I was like, ooh.
Yeah, she had that vibe for sure. I just love the fact that back in the day, even that wasn't that long ago. We just felt like we could just replace a character. It's fine.
Yeah.
We'll just pretend like this didn't happen. No one's gonna mention on the show, hey, Aunt Viv, you look totally different. You look completely different.
What was the kid's name who got born? Who was named after all the boys to men? What they call him?
Yeah. Is it Sean?
No, it wasn't. Well, Sean was one of his names because he was named after all of them. It wasn't Wanye. No, because Wanye is on now.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, he went from baby to 5 years old in a season, like half a season. Nikki went from baby, didn't see the toddler stage, didn't see him go to kindergarten. He went from baby to like 7.
He had
all of a sudden.
He had a mean growth spurt in a season and a half.
Yeah, it was crazy. So yeah, that's how we roll. People, they would allow their children to go upstairs and never come back down again. That poor baby in Family Matters, she's still up there. We still haven't seen her.
Yep. I feel like it was a weird time. It was a more innocent time back then. Welcome back. Hour number 2, brought to you by our friends at Ace Hardware, right there at East Memphis Ace, White Station and Quince, right next to Billy Hardwick's. Go and see the great folks there, Jarrett, Philip, Carter, the family doing awesome stuff, revitalizing that store, taking it to the next level. All of your holiday stuff, I'm starting to think about I know one of my colleagues has got Christmas stuff already up, Christmas trees and everything else. In fact, Dustin, our buddy Dustin, 5-star, they already got trees and
Yeah, that's entirely too
up.
soon, but okay.
Well, but I'm saying if you want that, or if you
Yeah.
start thinking about that, the folks at Ace can help you with all your holiday decorations, in addition to key fobs, which they do exclusively over there to help you with all of that. Any kind of like home improvement, home repair stuff. You got a clogged drain. They're there to help you. Even if you don't even know necessarily the best way to solve it, they can help you with that too. Their customer service, they've worked really hard to take that customer service to the next level. Go see the folks over at Ace at White Station and Quince right next to Billy Hardwick's. Really good folks. Tell Jarrett and Phillip you heard it right here on Sports 56. They will take good care of you. We talked about the Tigers last night. Winners against South Carolina State to James Wiseman. What a debut. 28 points, 11 rebounds, 3 blocks in just 22 minutes of action for the extremely talented freshman, All-American going into it. Tigers looked very, very good, as you would expect in this matchup. They were victorious. A lot of matchups. I don't really like the fact, CJ, that we started the ACC season already. This is the dumbest thing, I guess, because we have the ACC network and we have to just throw some content up there. But Louisville and Miami are playing a conference game on night one. What are you doing? And Louisville hammered Miami. It was not as close as the final score would indicate, 87-74. The Cards looked good. Jordan Noir looked really, really good. Good-looking game, and I hate the conference game. I hate the fact that they played a couple conference games last night. It just was.
Yeah, no. You don't have to do that.
It's November 5th.
Wait till.
In my world, we don't start conference till like January.
Yeah, man. Let the first 2 months of college basketball is everybody's out of conference slate, and then January, February, we go conference.
No.
So first month and a half, really, because midway through December, you got to start that conference slate, especially in the ACC with all those damn teams.
No, that's not what they did. Virginia Tech and Clemson played each other. Georgia Tech and NC State played.
Yeah, there's no reason to follow that.
What are we?
Unless you're playing everybody twice, which is fine. But if you're not playing everybody twice, and I don't think the ACC is, then like push that back some.
Well, they can't play everyone twice. They have to play 26 conference games if they did that.
So then push it back.
Push it back. Push it back. Way back. All right.
Yeah.
Duke beat Kansas. Speaking of ACC, Duke a winner over Kansas, 68-66. Did you watch any of this game?
I caught some of it as I was out and about, and then I got home for the Michigan State Kentucky game. Yeah.
You know who else was there? Was Zach Kleiman and
I saw that.
Yeah, Kleiman did not get a shout out on the broadcast. Tayshaun got a shout out on the broadcast, and
because he's Tayshaun, like he's a notable Kentucky graduate, if I'm not mistaken.
He is.
That is why the shout out came.
Although he was during the Kansas Duke game, so he wasn't.
I mean, he was in the building,
right?
Same building. Everybody's in Madison Square Garden, so you got something to feel like, yo, who's that really tall guy? He's familiar looking. Oh, that's Tayshaun? Well, let's shout out Tayshaun Prince, NBA champion.
Kansas turned the ball over 28 times. That seems like
a bit excessive.
Only made 23 shots, so 5 more turnovers than made shots. That's not good. 13 assists on that, so double the turnovers. Again, not great. I thought they looked incredibly sloppy. Duke was less sloppy, but probably also less effective at playing basketball. They were pretty poor from behind the 3-point line, only 36% overall shooting. Trey Jones, Tyus Jones' brother, was, I guess, the standout performer. This was just kind of an ugly sort of game, honestly. And this was one of those that was not a good advertisement for high-level college basketball because these teams looked like they hadn't played before.
Again, it's a whole lot of games. It's a lot of college basketball season. I get that you want the excitement. You want to get everybody's attention away from football. You want to get some of that away from the NBA. I get it. And so you want to put on as many marquee games as you can opening night. But let these teams play a game or two and then pit the big games on the weekend. Have them play Monday, Thursday, and then pit the big game on Saturday. Because otherwise you end up in a situation like we saw last night with that first game with Duke and Kansas where neither one of them looked good at all. It was rough to watch. And if you want to take some of that momentum and some of those eyeballs away from the other sports going on right now, not only do you need your most high-profile teams, but you need your high-profile teams playing really, really well. and playing something that makes people want to tune back in and watch later on, not what we saw with Duke and Kansas.
No, that's it was not an edifying spectacle. The nightcap was a little bit better. Kentucky beating Michigan State, and that game in the second half got a little more exciting. First half wasn't great either, but that second half and Tyrese Maxey, I mentioned for Kentucky freshman, what a performance from him off the bench. 26 points, 5 rebounds, hit a dagger 3 from about 26, 27 feet. Very, very late in the game. 9 to 10 at the foul line as well, which is for a freshman get to the foul line that much is impressive. He looked really, really good, and Kentucky looked like the number one team in the country. That's Michigan State did not. Michigan State looked. I have to say during stretches of this game, they'll obviously get better because he's a good coach, and they'll play their style, and that's what they do. But CJ, the fact is this team doesn't have. You talk about how I watch the game from like an NBA perspective. This team doesn't really have an NBA player.
Yeah.
At least not one that's going to be drafted in the first round. You could see Cassius Winston getting picked up late in a second round and carving his way onto a roster and playing hard and all that stuff. But none of the Henry, Tillman, any of those dudes are not. They're not NBA players. And I can't. I don't know when I've seen anybody win these days in college basketball without at least one or two of those dudes, running around. I mean, like Virginia, Texas Tech, all these teams, they played like college style and slower and defensive oriented and all that. They also had lottery picks. So it's hard to win without lottery talent.
And that's why Joshua Langford's injury and him being out indefinitely really hurts Michigan State. If he's out there, somebody his size who can create offensively for himself and create buckets for others, like that helps you out tremendously. And now it's so much pressure on Cassius Winston, who as good as he's been and as good as he is, and it pains me to say it, he's been really, really good. He's still small.
Yeah.
So small. And so you're asking him to be able to penetrate and find passing angles at his size, and he's just not able to really do that consistently throughout the course of a game. He can do it in spurts, but throughout the course of the game against top-notch competition, he can't be the only one. The load is too big for him to have to carry on his own. So you're right. You've got to have NBA talent on your roster. You do it. Michigan State really is void.
You can win, but it's hard. There's not much margin for error, and it's going to be that way. I'll be curious to see what happens with the 3-point line. Early on, there was
it didn't matter to Maxey.
No, it didn't matter to Maxey.
My man is pulling from wherever,
but he was the only one because Michigan State shot 5 of 26 from the new 3-point line. Memphis shot okay. Like these teams, they moved it back about a foot or so. It hasn't really been discussed. Like I didn't hear it talked about on the show. Like it's just interesting how that's a pretty big rule change. And you might have heard a few little references to it here and there, but it wasn't really discussed at any major level. It's going to change a lot potentially about what teams do, spacing, that kind of thing. Theoretically, it's going to make it even better for drivers. Guys that can drive should have a little extra space to get out there. Teams got to close out a little further, about a step further on each. So all that stuff is going to have an impact on what they do. But I thought good disciplined performance, and Kentucky to me right now looks. I don't know that they've got an overwhelming amount of talent, but Maxey is a top 5 pick. Right out of the gate. Nick Richards looks big and physical. The kid Sestino was a surprise, a little kind of a pick and pop big who did some nice things. And I think they got some work to do, but it was a pretty impressive performance. Of course, you remember last year, can't take too much from the first night. It's, stuff happens. Teams get blown out.
It seems to happen to Michigan State every first night.
Kentucky lost by 34 to Duke and got to the Elite Eight. So it just, these don't go too crazy.
Yeah.
Based on one game, no matter what it is. In the middle of those games last night, there was the CFP reveal. The reveal show. Said, hey, let's reveal
some stuff.
Let's reveal it. And you know who's not in the top 4?
Who?
Clemson.
Good.
Clemson.
Good.
Clemson is out. They are 5th. Ohio State 1. LSU 2. Alabama 3. Penn State 4. these teams will play each other in the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a playoff preview. You'll get that in the regular season already. And then Clemson ends up 5th, Georgia 6th, Oregon 7th, Utah 8th, Oklahoma down in 9, Florida in 10th. Interesting for Memphis, 21st, Cincinnati 20th. Obviously, the Tigers will play Cincinnati, so it's all in their control and being the highest group of 5 team.
Mm-hmm.
Boise State 22, Navy 24, SMU 25. So 5 group of 5 teams all on the bottom. First time that there's been 5 of those in the rankings. It tells you, what's happening, and a lot of good things in the AAC, certainly for the most part. And then Boise obviously is its own thing, but AAC is very impressive in the way that they've done it. And then you'd like to see that a little bit higher, bump up a little bit more. But there's a lot of entrenched bias there, so you just kind of have to deal with it. I don't really know why Memphis would be behind Cincinnati.
I don't either.
Given that UCLA win a lot of juice, I guess I
don't get that either. More to me, the more important thing about those teams being at the bottom is like the college football playoff committee seems to be saying, "Hey,
everybody,
ACC, hey everybody, hey ACC, hey Big 12, we don't think your conference is that good. Good luck trying to boost that resume from here forward." Because we've got all these group of 5 teams here. We don't have Oklahoma State. We don't have a Texas. We don't have insert team from the ACC here. We don't have them in the bottom. So there's no, we're telling you now, like your conferences alone aren't going to be enough to get you in. What's up with your out of conference? What have you done there? Because that is the only thing it seems to be that they're saying is the out-of-conference schedule for you now. What have you done there? And I think that's why you see Oklahoma especially way down there at 9 and Clemson at 5.
Yeah, Clemson at 5. But, I mean, if you look through the rest of the poll, who's the only other ACC team in there?
Is Wake in?
Wake
is in at 20
at
19. Wake is at 19.
And why they're 19? I mean, resume-wise and all that stuff. This is where you just start picking holes in this stuff, and it all falls apart.
Mm-hmm.
It just does. But that tells you what the ACC's strength is, which is non-existent. It's terrible. Yeah. It's awful. Like there's nothing. There's nowhere to hang your hat. On the people were talking about Syracuse. Oh, look what they're building up. Terrible.
They didn't know anything.
NC State.
Here we go.
NC State. Terrible. Miami. Garbage. Florida State. Total disaster. Paid $20 million to Willie Taggart to see him gone.
Mm-hmm.
Up and
Virginia
down.
Tech.
Virginia Tech. Virginia. Nothing. There's nothing in this conference.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, I'm not even sure why Clemson is as high as they are, honestly.
I would have them behind Georgia.
But, Georgia, the loss, again, that's undefeated versus
and it's a bad loss to South Carolina.
So, I mean, I can understand that to some extent. There's not anybody else that's pressuring them. But if Georgia, obviously, if they had won, then Clemson would have been 6th. In Oregon, same thing. If they hadn't lost to Auburn, they'd be, Clemson. This tells me that the committee is noticing it's a very weak schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's nothing in that schedule to be remotely interesting. Texas A&M. That's about it, and they're not great. So, what are you even like hanging your hat on, other than just the fact that we're Clemson? Look what we've done the last few years. You expect us to be really good. We're probably going to be really good. That's pretty much it from a resume standpoint with Clemson.
Yeah, when you look at the 7 and 8, Oregon and Utah, 2 Pac-12 schools, seems like the winner there should jump up.
You would think.
Like if everything holds up, I think they can only play in the championship game. If everything holds up, they're one loss, and they go in, these 2 schools, Oregon and Utah, and they play a competitive Pac-12 championship game, or one of them really makes a statement and just blows the other one out, you would think that they would then catapult themselves into the top 6 as well. So it is a precarious situation for Clemson to be in, and I love it. I love this. I hope, because are you really going to leave out like a LSU who's beat Florida, who's beat Auburn, who went on the road and beat an okay Texas team? Are you going to leave them out because they lost to Alabama, who won the SEC? No. Are you going to leave out Penn State, who beat Michigan, who beat Minnesota, who may lose to Ohio State? Are you going to leave them out because of Clemson? We could be looking at a situation, or leave them out because of Oklahoma or the Pac-12 champ. We could be looking at a situation, and I love this, where only 2 conferences get teams in, and all hell will break loose after that.
I hope that's
and I'm here for that. Yeah. I'm here for chaos. I'm here for the breakdown of society, man. I love it.
Well, and that's the only way to get the group of 5 better respect. Everyone needs to see that, like, the Pac-12, ACC is learning now. You're only one bad season away from being on the outside.
Yep.
When you've only got 4 teams, it doesn't take long. I mean, you're and the thing is, again, the difference, because I know a lot of you will say, and I had a debate within my text chain with a bunch of my buddies.
Oh, okay.
Last night, raging, which I was not part of because I wasn't. They go at it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look, I do a show. Like, I got 3 hours to debate all this stuff. Sometimes I need to I'll take a powder and let you guys. I want to just see what you guys are saying. But I mean, making very valid points about the fact that Alabama's schedule is worse than Clemson's.
Yes.
Same results, same best win as Texas A&M.
Not really same results. Bama's doesn't have that North Carolina scale.
The results are either you win a game or you lose a game.
Okay.
And they've each won all the games.
Okay.
Like, now, if you want to start getting into the margins of how well, yes, the difference in Alabama and Clemson is that Alabama has basically brutalized the teams they're supposed to brutalize. Clemson had about a first month of the season where they really wobbled and just didn't look that great, and they almost lost to North Carolina, could easily lost to North Carolina. Alabama didn't do any of that. But that's just kind of on the margins. Like, otherwise, like Clemson over the last month has looked pretty much like Clemson you would expect.
What we expected.
And, same thing. But the difference is that Bama is about to hit it starting this weekend with LSU. And then, you're going to have Auburn down the line. You're going to play
SEC East
championship game against probably, Georgia or Florida, certainly. And, I would assume Georgia at this point. So you'll play 3 top teams, or 2 top teams in Auburn, who's pretty good. That will make a dramatic difference. Clemson is not going to see any of that.
No,
there's nothing left on Clemson's schedule. That's the. What does that do now? I mean, should Alabama be ahead of Clemson based on the resume? I mean, probably not, honestly.
No,
but this will work itself out in the end. And Clemson is in perfect position, honestly, because they're going to stay undefeated most likely, and at least 2 of the teams in front of them will lose. They have to, so they're sitting pretty as far as that goes. Like, no problem.
The problem comes if the only losses by the teams in front of them is to each other. That is where the problem comes in.
I don't think it's a problem because I don't think
especially if it's LSU and like Ohio State.
For example, Penn State.
Penn State. Okay.
If Penn State loses to Ohio State, which they probably will.
Okay.
Then they're out.
No. They got wins over if they win out with wins over Minnesota, Iowa, and Michigan, that's way better than anything Clemson can hope to do.
The loss will trump it because of Clemson. Because it's Clemson. It's the reputation. If this was another team, maybe you'd have a point. If this was Wake Forest doing what Clemson's doing, same schedule, same results, all that, but Wake Forest name, it might not carry as much weight. But Clemson is going to carry the weight. No,
but it shouldn't, though.
It shouldn't. But we already seen with this committee that's why the committee is there. If they wanted it just to be straight up purely results, they would have found a way to do that. They want the eye test to be able to manipulate it a little bit and to say, Clemson, yeah, they're the results, but they're Clemson. They're Clemson, and so we'll put them back in there. Like, I agree with you. I'm fine, and then there are other people that say, as long as you're in a major conference, undefeated should trump one loss, no matter what that one loss is, no matter the circumstances of that one loss. That's often been the situation in college football too. Even predating BCS and all that stuff. Like, that was just part of the gig. Like, you lose in November, like, you're screwed. I don't care who you are. So to me, this is still good news for Clemson, even though, because I just can't see. The only one I could see is like a tight matchup with LSU and Alabama. A field goal game either way. I think that team might survive it. I can't see Penn State surviving it.
Or Ohio State. Let's say Ohio State.
I think Ohio State has a better chance. Better chance of surviving it. Okay. Yes, they do.
Because of the name.
It also depends on what happens in the Big Ten championship game. That's the other thing. Let's take that break. We'll come back and continue. Your thoughts on the CFP playoff situation and also what it means for Memphis, who still, at this point, is kind of confirmed that they're in control of their destiny when it comes to a New Year's Day bowl and a Cotton Bowl appearance and all that. I think we'll see. They got that in their hands. They went out, do what you need to do. You'll be there. Let's take that break. We'll come back and continue here on the second hour of the program, brought to you by friends at Ace Hardware, the East Memphis Ace Quince and White Station. That continues here, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Sports 56 now has 2 FM homes. You can now find real sports talk on 96.1 as well as 87.7 on your FM dial.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. We're committed at Conway Services to joining St. Jude in the fight against childhood cancers. During our buyback promotion, we're donating a portion of all systems replaced to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. It's buyback days at Conway Services. We'll buy back your repair bill up to $1,500 toward the purchase of select Carrier Infinity systems. That's right, we'll buy back your repair bill up to $1,500, even if we didn't do the repair. Just show us your repair bill from any company and we'll buy back the repair. If you didn't have a repair bill this year, we'll give you up to a $1,500 trade-in for that old energy guzzling system toward the purchase of select Carrier Infinity systems. When air conditioners get older and inefficient, the cost of repairs and higher utility costs can almost pay for a new system. Plus, your new system from Conway Services will help St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511 today.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Memphis, it's official. Crab King Seafood is where it's at. For the most flavored seafood and biggest plates, run to a Crab King's near you. Visit our Bartlett Cordova location at 7140 Stage Road or our East Memphis location at 5992 Knight Arnold Road. Starting this week, get 3 juicy snow crabs, 17 shrimps, 2 whole sausages, 2 corn, 2 eggs, and a large side of potatoes for only $43.99. That's right, $43.99. The price, the portions, the service is why Crab Kings is number 1. Make the right choice the first time. Make it Crab Kings. Come and devour our tasty snow crabs, king crabs, shrimp, salmon, and catfish. Enjoy Memphis' best tasting pastas with your choice of toppings. Visit our Bartlett Cordova locations at 7140 Stage Road or our East Memphis location at 5992 Knight Arnold Road. Crab Kings is open Tuesday through Sunday. For more information, Google Crab Kings Memphis or download the app Crab Kings, a Memphis original.
You have to be up in 5 hours, 2 hours, 6 minutes. And when you hear, you realize that you haven't slept a wink. That's why there's ZzzQuil Pure Z's, a drug-free blend of botanicals with an optimal dose of melatonin so you can fall asleep naturally with no next-day grogginess. It's available in both liquid and gummies, tastes great, and is non-habit forming. Pick up ZzzQuil Pure Z's from the sleep experts at Vicks ZzzQuil. ZzzQuil Pure Z's, naturally superior sleep. Available at retailers near you.
If you are thinking about renting or purchasing a compact excavator, the best choice is Bobcat. Bobcat excavators are made in America and proudly represented by the Mid-South's largest compact equipment dealer. With 9 offices, Williams Equipment has the most locations for rental, sales, and service. Whether you do plumbing, utilities, swimming pools, concrete breaking, or foundations, Williams Equipment has the right Bobcat excavator for you.
This is Cody Bumpus, the Bobcat Specialist of North Mississippi. Call me for a demonstration and a finance quote at 901-508-8739.
Let's say you just bought a house. Bad news is, you're one step closer to becoming your parents. You'll proudly mow the lawn. Ask if anybody noticed you mowed the lawn. Tell people to stay off the lawn. Compare it to your neighbor's lawn. And complain about having to mow the lawn again. Good news is, it's easy to bundle home and auto through Progressive and save on your car insurance, which, of course, will go right into the lawn. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
What is this?
Mission Impossible.
The TV show?
Yep.
Yes.
That was a TV show? I thought it was just a movie. Okay. That's cool.
Dun, 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 bum, bum, bum. Welcome back. Mission Impossible. Similac Zach over there. He's halfway through his first solo show. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
You kept us on the rails so far. Good for you. No major screw-ups. Okay.
I'm pretty good at this.
Okay, you're doing all right. You're doing all right. I have confidence in you.
I appreciate the affirmation.
Yeah, I have confidence. You're doing good. Keep.
Did it win an Emmy?
Who, Zach? No, he's not.
I wish
he's
I
doing,
did.
He's doing great.
Did.
You just said.
What happened?
CJ's doing his own show in his head now. He's not.
Yeah. Mission Impossible threw me off.
People don't understand. Sometimes CJ just detaches from like the normal world for a little bit and has his own show going in his own mind. And we all just have to kind of figure out what that show is and try to catch up.
But we can speak that Emmy into existence for me. I would gladly take it.
Yeah, all right. Well, yeah, I mean, you just need to do a little TV work and you'll be good to go.
And a Golden Globe.
I take a Golden Globe too.
Yeah, I think you could do it. You got to get in the films, but yeah, you could do that.
You know what? No, let's just go for the whole suite. Just give me the Grammy,
CJ's
the Tony.
You want the EGOT? You want the whole thing?
Give me the whole thing.
EGOT. Good for you.
Who got?
EGOT.
He got what?
The EGOT.
What are we talking about?
Emmy, Grammy,
Oscar, Tony. Okay, yeah.
EGOT.
Okay.
CJ's he's in what we call ghost protocol, where he's just in his own world, doing his own thing. That's right.
No, I'm back. I'm here.
Oh, no, now you're back.
I'm back now.
Yeah, now you're back. We'll see.
I came back.
Texters 67129 on the. Are you ready? You ready to do this?
Yeah, I'm here.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Just let me know. You need a little extra time to go do your own show for a little bit.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm dialed in.
Texter says, I'm one of those crazy people who believes you cannot be the best team in the country if you don't win your conference. So a one-loss team to a conference champion doesn't deserve to make the championship playoffs.
Even if the strength of schedule is significantly better?
I just don't agree with that at all. There are so many reasons why that could be problematic. I mean, if you have one conference that's decidedly better than the others, which the SEC, SEC and Big Ten are certainly better this year than everybody else. You could debate as to which one between the two of those is better. And obviously, right now that would be the playoff semifinals would be a de facto Big Ten championship game and a de facto SEC championship game.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the way it should be because this year those have been clearly the better ones. So in those scenarios, like I don't care that you've gone undefeated in the ACC. The ACC is trash. You've gone undefeated through trash. Great. Like you should have done that.
Mm-hmm.
What would Clemson the way they've played and the way they played early in the season, especially, would they have gone unbeaten had they played more difficult opposition week in, week out? It does not appear that they would have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, obviously, we have to just sort of guess on all that, but it doesn't. They didn't look like it, so I don't buy that at all. I think that's unfair to the conferences that are really thick with good teams.
Mm-hmm.
So, Peter, when me and CJ was talking about this yesterday, is there a significant play? Is there a significant play that you remember from Clemson this year that make you think that they're one of the better teams? From an eye test standpoint,
like one play,
or just eye test. Like, did you see anything?
I mean, I watched Travis Etienne. He's a baller. I mean, pick any of his long runs, and that would make me say, okay, this team is really good. I saw Trevor Lawrence last year, and I know what he is capable of. This year, he has not lived up to that expectation, but I know what he's capable of. Their wide receivers are still, elite for their position. So, I mean, this is not necessarily about Clemson's quality as a team. It's about to be, but it just once again speaks to college football saying one thing but doing another.
Mm-hmm.
The leadership within college football has always done this. College sports is all about this. A lot of talk, but not a lot of action to back up that talk. We've seen it in the NCAA tournament with the selection committee. Now we're seeing it in the football with the CFP selection committee. They say they want competition outside of the conference. They say they want teams to schedule good teams. Okay. But then you go and you look and you see where they actually end up ranking teams, and it doesn't really reflect any of that at all. Basically, you're doing it in an undefeated 0-loss situation no matter what. That trumps everything else. Doesn't matter.
For certain teams.
For Power 5 teams with a certain reputation.
Not for Baylor. Yeah, with a certain reputation.
Yeah,
There we
yeah,
go.
I mean,
Not
you
for
have to-
Baylor. Not
yeah.
for Minnesota.
No.
You got to be the Clemsons or Alabamas of the world to get that respect given
But
to
again, like Minnesota, for example, you know.
And I'm fine where Minnesota is.
I don't. I mean, I think they probably deserve to be a little better than 17.
I don't know. I don't think so. They're the second best U of M in the nation.
But to be fair, you look at their schedule and it's you know, I mean,
nearly lost 2 of those games.
I mean, it's not good at all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you go from South Dakota State, edged out South Dakota State, edged out Fresno State at the time. Georgia Southern, not.
I think those are the 3 games they won by a combined 13 points. And if you say you want competition, it's not like those are any premier Group of 5 or Power 5 team.
Then they beat Purdue by a touchdown. Then they beat Illinois. Then they beat Nebraska, Rutgers, Maryland. I mean, literally, that is
best win Illinois.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. At this point, depending on how you feel about Nebraska, but Illinois probably is the best. Purdue maybe because Purdue's it's not. There's no good win. There's barely a decent win in there. So, but now obviously it gets a lot different because they play Penn State this weekend. Okay.
They
So you
end
host
with
Penn State.
Penn
this
State,
weekend.
Wisconsin, Iowa.
That's right. With a little Northwestern mixed in there too, just in case you don't overlook that.
1-7.
So we'll find out. What happens with them. But what I'm saying is like for the most part, if you're talking about the traditional powers, if you go unbeaten, it doesn't really seem to change a whole lot about what where you are, and I think that's somewhat disappointing. Are you going to value that schedule? Are you going to be willing to put a 1-loss team above an unbeaten team within the same power framework to show that, okay, you know what, you can go ahead and schedule that team, and as long as you played really well, and as long as you took a loss, but maybe you took a loss, these things happen, a 1-point game, whatever it may be. Cool. Like we still think you're a quality team, and we're gonna put, like Oregon, for example. Oregon looks like a quality team. They lost to Auburn, who is 11th. That should, in theory at least, vault them up a little higher. I mean, I think they've done more than Clemson has done. Probably more than Alabama's done, honestly. I mean, again, that'll change in the next few weeks. But if you're talking about just right now, my frustration is always they always say it's about the resume and what you've done right now. But there's always, if you look at the rankings, these implied assumptions when you actually go through and you try to break down the logic of what they do, it doesn't make any sense. If you really wanted it to be about the resume, these would look at least a little bit different because it's not. People are talking about Clemson being snubbed at 5. No. Clemson is 5 is the highest they should have been ranked.
Who you going? And I'm not sure they should have been 5.
I'm not sure, that's what I'm saying.
Who are you going to take out? Who would you take out?
No, I'm saying like they shouldn't have been 5.
No, I'm saying
that's the highest they could have possibly been ranked. I would put. I mean, I think Georgia, certainly in terms of the best win, you have to obviously the loss is problematic. But
you got the one loss with 2 good wins.
I'm okay.
Notre Dame and was it Auburn, Florida?
Like I'm just to me it's silly like to, if you beat 2 teams in the top 15, that needs to have some weight compared to losing 1 game. Same thing we talked about with Oregon. Utah, if you watch them play, like those teams all have looked better more consistently than Clemson. So like, I mean, but again, it comes back to the same thing. You can dress it up however you want, man, but it's been the same in college football for 50 years. If you lose, particularly late in the season, sorry. That just trumps everything. And unless everyone else loses too, and then in that case, then everything's back in business. Like in 2007 when everybody lost and it was just crazy. Okay. Otherwise, you're screwed. And that's stupid. Like that's just the whole point of this is to kind of incorporate the eye test and to say, well, they did lose, but actually there was a reason for that. And, they're just not doing that. They're just ignoring it. Stuff. It's just like, oh, it's Clemson and they're undefeated. Okay, let's put them up there. And you could say the same thing about Alabama to a lesser extent, except that Bama, at least from an eye test standpoint, looked better than Clemson. So, but otherwise, you'd say the same thing about Alabama. They hadn't beaten anyone. They hadn't played anyone. Now they will, Clemson won't, but they haven't yet.
And if we could say, hey, you know what? Given you talked about this Monday coming in, given the information that we had at the time, we were correct. Now that we have more information, this is the right thing to do. So if that was the way we could roll with this, and that if we could understand that and not treat these polls, these rankings as a line, you're next. You move up because this person lost and they move down. You could get a situation where Alabama be 20, and that's fine.
That's fine.
That's fine because they've got possibly three really good games left. You could end up with a situation where it is, okay, Clemson's not in it now, but they can jump into it. They can go from unranked to number 9, 10, depending on what happens. They can do something like that in a week. But because this is where the dangers of, while it's ridiculous, preseason rankings are stupid, it is unfair also because a team like Baylor, who didn't come in ranked at all, was on nobody's radar at all, is one of those undefeated power teams that people are talking about who should get into the playoffs. If you don't lose, you get in. But you look, and Baylor is behind 2-loss Auburn, 2-loss Florida, and 1-loss Oklahoma, who hails from the same conference. And Oklahoma's in the top 10. Why? Because they started the year preseason in the top, 5. So because that is where they started, even though they lost, they can't fall further than 10-11 at best. And Baylor, who's won all of their games, cannot sniff the top 10 right now. Right now. And even if Oklahoma loses to Baylor, how high up does Baylor get? Like, Baylor's not going to be able to sniff the top 6.
I mean, it's just like life, man. Some people just start.
Well, hey.
Some
here
people
we go.
start on third, and some people, they start on third and think they hit a triple, and some people, have the best they can and barely have a bat in their hands and have to try to figure out a way to get a home run. It's very difficult to do. That's life. So I guess in that sense, college football is a microcosm of.
It is very much a microcosm
of life. Some the haves and the have-nots. But it shouldn't be that way. But I think your point. I've been saying it for years. I'm glad you said it again. It's my number one thing when it comes to these dumbass polls. We have got to stop linking one week's poll to the next. And they said they were going to do that. They said that was the way it was going to be. And they are totally lying. It has never been that way. And it starts with the preseason dumb polls in the preseason based on nothing other than conjecture. And those set the tone for the rest of the year. Like, oh, well, I can't move this team above this team because what do you mean move it above? You just redo the whole thing.
Redo it, man.
You put the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle together over the weekend. On Monday, here's the puzzle. Tuesday, break that sucker up and reform it based on what happens that weekend. Don't look at what you did last week. Just rank based on what's happened so far. You're absolutely right. If that were the way they would do it, they would look and say, some of these one-loss teams would be ahead of Clemson, and would be ahead of Alabama, would be ahead of whoever, because look at what they've done. Look at the resume. It's so much better. But if you're Alabama, hey, man, you got a ton of great quality coming up. So you have a chance to jump up, no problem, because we can do that. We could jump up from the 20s to 1 in 1 week if circumstances dictate that. No problem, because it's a week-to-week thing. Clemson, hey, y'all might want to schedule a little better out of conference, or hey, tough break about Texas A&M sucking. You might want to have added a second, performance. If they actually were serious about that, that's how they would do it. And then other teams would have to schedule and say, "Oh, wait a second. Okay, actually they're not messing around with this. Oh, all right. Well, we better bump this up a little bit." But they're not. And again, no one's going to call them on that bluff because no one has to. And these teams know how the system is. It's stupid. It continues to be stupid. College football is definitely the stupidest sport. Doesn't mean I don't love it, but it's definitely the stupidest.
I don't know. And I love it. I do. I love the tournament. I want them to add more teams to the tournament. But that's a really silly way to go about this thing as well.
What, a tournament?
The March Madness.
Oh, you mean college basketball?
I want 120. No. Let's make that pop. One more game. Let's make that shake. Let's get it.
I don't want that. But at least, though it is stupid and though it is, they've understood what they value is, because they make so much money, they value that tournament. They value the excitement and the unpredictability of that tournament more than anything else. And crucially, CJ, within college basketball, unlike college football, there is a formula by which every single team that starts the season can win a national championship. It is very difficult. Obviously, there are some major hurdles that you'd have to overcome, but it is possible and it is stipulated, and we have seen George Mason make it to Final Four. We've seen VCU make Final Fours. We've seen Butler get to 2 straight championship games and 1 half-court shot that rimmed out away from beating Duke and winning a championship. We've seen UNLV win a national championship. We've seen Memphis. We've seen it. It happens a lot. So, yeah, it's flawed or whatever, but at least it's there. There's a formula. You win your conference. You win your conference tournament. You're going to be in the NCAA tournament. And from there, hey, if you win 6 games in a row, you're the champ. Like, there's a lot of dumb stuff. I agree, but at least there you could say Division I is a thing. In football, it's not a thing. Mm-hmm. You have the Power 5 and you have everybody else. There's no way Memphis could ever win a national championship in football under any circumstances. No chance. 0. Now, why do you even compete? That's stupid. Why would you be in a competition? You tell me the NBA season starts and obviously the Grizzlies are not going to win. But let's just say we've stipulated that even if they win all their games, even if they go 82-0, they're not going to make the NBA playoffs. Mm-hmm. Now, why would you play? What would be the point of that? Why would you call it the NBA? Why would you say you're part of the NBA when you can't actually win that championship? But that's Memphis. That's Boise. That's UCF. That's all these teams. And you have to be happy with, it's great to get a group of 5 and great to get a New Year's Day Bowl and all that's wonderful, but that's just a little snippet of the pie. You still can't win the whole championship. It's stupid. It's the dumbest sport on earth, bar none. It drives me crazy.
Someone we haven't Rob on to make these picks.
Coming up. I watch it, but it's just dumb.
Watch a lot of dumb stuff.
Foolishness, man. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. Continue. Fish coming up in 15 minutes. We'll talk. We'll talk a little more college football on the other side. Also, get you updated on some of the other basketball from last night. So there's a ton, not only in college but also in the pro. So we'll do all of that when we continue here on the Experience live at the Family Leisure Studios. Real Sports Talk Sports 56 961 877.
Check out Dave Voloshin and Brett Norsworthy with Sports Time. Weekdays from 3 till 6 on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know: Benswanger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 125 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Benswanger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Benswanger Glass in Midtown, located at 340 South Hollywood, across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit their website, benswangerglass.com. Benswanger Glass.
The Starlight Lounge presents An Evening with the Progressive Box.
The moon, yeah. That's Hugo, tickling the ivories. He just saved by bundling home and auto with Progressive. Gonna finally buy a ring for that gal of yours, Hugo? Send her my condolences. Hi-oh! This next one's for you two. There's a burglar in my heart. Thank you.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
In today's evolving workplace, XMC understands the process of getting office work done has moved from the desktop to your pocket. The new Xerox multifunctional printers and ConnectKey app technology are game changers. Are you working with confidential information? Does it need to be secure from unwanted threats? Do you need to translate documents to another language? Xerox's App Gallery provides solutions like secure printing and easy translator technology. XMC is the second largest exclusive Xerox agent in the U.S. with 9 locations to serve you. We've been in business for over 25 years and have received top awards from Xerox. In changing our world one experience at a time, our team's committed to doing what's right for your business. XMC is proud to be your leader in document and print management, and it'd be our pleasure to serve you. Contact XMC today at 888-814-3114 or visit our website at xmcinc.com. XMC, excellence in office solutions.
You have to be up in 5 hours, 2 hours, 6 minutes, and when you hear, you realize that you haven't slept a wink. That's why there's ZzzQuil Pure Z's, a drug-free blend of botanicals with an optimal dose of melatonin, so you can fall asleep naturally with no next-day grogginess. It's available in both liquid and gummies, tastes great, and is non-habit forming. Pick up ZzzQuil Pure Z's from the sleep experts at Vicks ZzzQuil. ZzzQuil Pure Z's, naturally superior sleep. Available at retailers near you.
Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurts. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
It's a rare condition this day and age to read any good news on the newspaper page. And love and tradition of the grand design, some people say,
is even harder to find. Well, there must be some magic clue inside these gentle walls.
Sing it.
'Cause all I see is a tower of dreams, real love bursting out of every scene.
Get it.
Days go by. That's beautiful.
One of the shows where the comedic relief really took over.
Yeah.
And changed the whole dynamic of the whole dynamic of the show. Have you seen the Key and Peele sketch about Urkel?
Yes.
Oh, it's great.
Yes. Key and Peele getting 2 shots out on the show.
Oh, man. I mean, shout out Key and Peele.
They've gone on to phenomenal things. Excellent stuff. Both Key and Peele.
I know you don't like to be scared, but you should see Us.
I don't like to be scared, man. I've told you that.
Us is nice.
I don't like to see. I'm not a horror guy. I mean, I respect Jordan Peele tremendously, but
it's more of a psychological thriller.
I get it. That's the same thing. You're just spinning it around a little bit. It's the same thing. Is it gonna make me scared? Yep.
It's gonna make you uneasy.
Then I don't want it. Oh. I got enough of that in my life. I'm not gonna go pay somebody else to do that. So absolutely ridiculous. All right, so welcome back as we continue here on the program. And folks are pointing out that there's lots of joke schedules out there. And again, it's my whole issue with this is just we don't actually look at what the schedules are. We just sort of make our best guess as to what we think these teams are going to do, and then it's silliness.
And we make our best guess before we see them do anything.
Yep.
We make our best guess sometime in late July, early August, before games have even been played.
I mean, and again, like, you know, Ohio State, who have they played?
They got Cincy and Wisconsin.
I mean, Cincinnati's fine. I guess they're okay.
And same with Wisconsin.
But the difference from Ohio State, at least if you're going to do the eye test component, they kicked the crap out of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. Like, that tells me, all right, like, Clemson did not do that.
Mm-hmm.
That should matter a little bit. Alabama pretty much dominated who they're supposed to dominate.
Mm-hmm.
That should matter.
Yes.
Let me tell you something else. Record against the spread should matter a little bit. Not so much directly, but just as a kind of a ballpark feel about how much better were you than we expected you to be. You know, like, we talk about picking college football. For the most part, if you just pick college football games and you don't take the spread into account, it's pretty easy to win 70, 80% of your games just picking college football. Like, it's you know, the spread is the great equalizer. How much did you dominate based on what we expected you to? What was your expected margin of victory versus what you actually did? And in that kind of thing, like, Ohio State comes out pretty well because, like, they were expected to win by a fair margin. They probably won by more than you would expect. You know, for teams like LSU that already have, you know, quality wins on your resume, you know, you're fine. But to try to, you know, flip through and do all this stuff with teams that are now you have other avenues to do that. But we don't do necessarily any of that from here on out.
Yeah, LSU should probably be one. By probably, so, yeah. I mean definitely.
Yeah, they should
be one. Wins over Auburn and Florida, and then that third win over Texas, who is not one of those quad one wins, but is a decent enough win that is not on. 3 of those is not on Ohio State's resume. So you can go Wisconsin, you can go Cincinnati. I don't think you can go to a point to a third statement win right now for Ohio State.
Yeah, I think ultimately, and I think, you know, the whole thing, it'll play itself out. So I mean, there's no point in getting all frothed up now because, you know, this is what it's designed for. Basically, it's designed to make you mad, and it does a good job of that.
Very, very good.
So, you know, we'll wait and see, but you can just kind of see the inevitability of some of this stuff, and it's problematic.
Yes.
But they don't. It's what they do, man.
Mm-hmm.
They're very frustrating. I gotta tell you, I've told some folks. Folks were downtown yesterday for the Tiger game. Some folks will be downtown tonight for the Grizzly game. We'll talk about that coming up in hour number 3. And you know what they did?
I hope they went to Central.
They did.
Okay.
Thank you for remembering. They popped over. To
Yes.
Central. Not far away from the Forum at all.
No.
And they left love and life. It's an affirmation of life. It's like, oh, look what we can do as humans. Look what kind of deliciousness we can create. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. The smoke. Look what just a little low heat and a little smoke. Look what we can create. Look at the flavors that we can create. Taste that. Oh my! What are we not beautiful? You know, life is beautiful, and more so when you're eating Central Barbecue. Go and check it out. Zach, what are you doing? You're going to the Forum tonight, right?
Yes, I'll be there.
Why don't you go get some Central Barbecue before?
If they have any vegetarian options there.
Well, they do.
Then what are the options?
Do you like mac and cheese?
I do.
Do you like greens?
I do.
Well, they got great mac and cheese, and they got great greens. Do you like banana pudding?
I do.
Do you like barbecue chips?
Not so much.
Well, then don't get those. And then get the other stuff that you like. They do have vegetarian options. They also have non-vegetarian options, and quite a few of those as well that you want to check out. But yes, even for vegetarians, you can go to and get something good at Central Barbecue. I'm going to just go ahead and stay carnivorous when I go there, personally. But that's just me. I'm going to get those wings. I'm going to get that delicious pulled pork. But hey, man, they got plenty of options for you. Go enjoy it. The banana pudding is awesome. It's so good. So good. Go and check it out, Central. I'll be at the one downtown, but of course you can go downtown. You can go East Memphis. You can go Central. You can go Summer. It's all there for you. And cbqmemphis.com. Back. Hour number 3, Rob Fisher on the other side. We'll talk a little college football against the spread with the fish. Also, we'll talk a little Grizzlies, Timberwolves. Plenty of that coming up in hour number 3 as we continue here on the program. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Hi, this is Troy Fibash, owner of Fibash Roofing. It is that time of year where the weather is unpredictable, and given the recent storms, it's a good time to discuss insurance claims. So here's a few things you should know. Always hire a local contractor, because if you have a problem with your roof down the road, you want to be able to find him. Never allow anyone to pressure you into signing a contingency contract. They're used as sales tools, making you feel committed, and the truth is, those contracts are not worth the paper they're written on. Be careful of door-knocking salesmen. Some are reputable, but many are not. They canvass the neighborhood and tell everyone to file a claim, working their percentages and not caring if you file a claim even when they know the likelihood of it being approved is low. Some will even damage your roof hoping to convince the adjuster it's storm damage. That's fraud, and contractors have gone to jail for that. So do your research and know who you're hiring. Fibash Roofing, the official roof of the University of Memphis Athletic Department. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fibash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately? Everything, a tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels and gold and silver and more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, diamonds, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts in wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis, local and family-owned. Whatever your dream, make it come true at James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar.
Bases loaded here at the top of the 9th. And the pitch. And it's out of here!
We deliver baseball caps, mitts, and everything you need to get ready for the game. But what you really get when FedEx knocks on your door is so much more.
FedEx Delivery.
Game day spirit. What we deliver by delivering.
Williams Equipment and Supply, your Bobcat loader and excavator dealer, is #1 in compact construction equipment. With the highest market share, the largest inventory of equipment, attachments, and parts, the largest compact rental fleet, and the best technicians and the most locations, Williams Equipment is the undisputed leader. Find out why more people buy, lease, and rent Bobcat equipment from Williams Equipment than any other brand.
This is Cody Bumpus, your Bobcat specialist of North Mississippi. Call me for a demonstration and a finance quote at 901-508-8739.
This is Jason Mott. Join me November 9th downtown at the Column for our 8th annual Jason Mott Foundation Cornhole Challenge. Doors open at 6. For tickets and more information, click the events tab at jasonmottfoundation.org. Looking forward to seeing you out there, and let's strike out cancer.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
No one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke, you broke. Your love life's the way.
It's like you're always stuck in second gear. You a big Friends guy, CJ?
No.
You big? It seems like you'd be a real big Friends
Yeah,
guy.
does it? No.
Seems like you'd love that show.
Nah, I don't rock with Friends at all. I tried.
You did?
And I just couldn't.
Okay.
I couldn't.
Zach? Big Friends guy?
I watched in all the seasons.
You watched all the seasons?
Yes, all of them.
Zach loves it.
Hey, good for him. Good for
We
you, Zach.
were on a break.
See? He loves it.
That's great.
It's great. Isn't it great?
It's great.
Isn't it great? It's great.
I only saw a couple episodes. Where are they at?
New York.
Oh, they're in New York?
Uh-huh.
Black people live in New York? Because I didn't see any at all.
Not that part of New York.
Oh, okay, cool.
Well, Aisha Tyler showed up in
She did,
in
towards the
one
end.
of the later episodes.
She was somebody's girlfriend in that.
I think it was Ross.
Okay. So that's one.
That's one.
That's one.
It's pretty good.
Hey.
Pretty good.
Hey.
Come on. You got to say. Pretty good.
Outstanding.
Pretty strong.
Outstanding.
I mean, I've been in New York a couple times. And
didn't see any?
No. I saw quite a few black people. I'll tell you that. So, but you know, that was my only real experience with New York was watching Friends. I was just like, man, it's gonna be a bunch of white people here. It's interesting. And then turns out that's not
the homeland.
Turns out that's not at all the case.
The Mecca,
and not just black people, but like Hispanic people.
Oh,
a lot of Asians.
There must have been tons of those on the show. Nope, none in the background walking around at the what's the coffee shop called?
Central Perk.
None at Central Perk.
Not Central Pork. That's
Central
Barbecue.
I am.
That's
I'm
different.
hungry. You made me hungry.
Uh-huh.
None at Central Pork. Central Pork again. I really want this damn barbecue.
You do. I've hit you a certain type of way.
You have. 2 times with the Freudian slip.
That's right. Let's go. We'll go.
Okay.
We'll go. We'll get you taken care of. Don't worry about it.
I appreciate it.
All right. Welcome back as we continue here on the program. Joining us now. After a 1 week hiatus, because he was in L.A. and stuff happens in L.A. What happens in L.A. stays in L.A. The old saying goes. The old saying goes. We all know that. But he is one half of the odds couple. He is, of course, doing all sorts of hosting duties and sideline duties for the Memphis Grizzlies. He'll be on your television screen tonight in your streaming device as the Grizzlies take on the Timberwolves. And, of course, he's a longtime host on these airwaves. Good friend. He is Rob Fisher. Good morning, Rob. How are you?
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
What up, Rob?
Rob, you see
How are you?
Did you see, when you were in New York, did you see some black folks?
I've seen a few.
Yeah, me too. Interesting.
Yeah, a few of them. It's not like Central Perk.
It isn't. No,
over in New York.
It's really not. It's really not. It's
You see, I mean, you not only see black people, you see people of all races.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know.
It's a melting pot.
I watched
there in
Seinfeld
New
and
York
Friends,
City.
and I got a real mixed sense of what was going on there. And then I went to New York, and I was like, well, this is not right at all. Boy, this is all.
Well, maybe you were just in a different spot.
That's true. I was probably just different.
Do you guys have secret coffee shops that you don't tell us about? Us being
white people?
Yeah, white people and black people and
no, obviously
Mexican Americans.
Obviously, I can't tell you that.
Oh, okay. My fault.
Yeah.
The answer to that, Zach, is yes.
Dude.
Yeah, they're secret. If I told you, then they wouldn't be secret anymore, right?
Cool.
I mean, that's nothing personal. I just
Hey, listen, you don't have to explain.
Ixnay on the coffee shop.
Okay, I got you.
It's like maybe it's like the barbershop. Like black folks at the barbershop.
No.
White folks at the
Because
coffee
you
shop.
guys know about the barbershop. You've been in a barbershop.
I know.
You guys are aware of the black barbershop's existence. We aren't aware of these coffee shops that only have white people in them.
We was on national television. Zach's aware of it because he watched every episode of it. We put it out there for you. We let you know.
But we don't know the location. Zach can't take me to the coffee shop.
No, I cannot. I don't even know where it is, to be honest with
Okay.
you. All I know is that it was a coffee shop somewhere in New York on some street that apparently a lot of people can walk on and not get hit by cars.
They do walk on the street sometimes. That's right.
That definitely sounds like a white part of town. Okay.
For sure. And there's no question about it. Fish, I hope your trip to the short trip, for some reason the Grizzlies on a 1-game road trip to LA. I never understood. It's not. I mean, if only there was another team that played in that same building that you could ever schedule a game against.
Yeah, or in the same state. It'd be cool.
I mean, it's weird, but there's not. It's just not. So it's just obviously you just can't have any of that. We'll talk. We maybe get to a little bit of Grizzlies later on. But first of all, we were talking about the college football playoff stuff. Hey, does it frustrate you as it frustrates me, or is it just the nature of it? I mean, I feel like we're not actually taking the resumes into account. We're just sort of pretending like we do, but we don't really take this stuff into account, do we?
No, we still have too much eye test, and that's the problem with it. But it doesn't frustrate me that much, only because we're so early, and it'll work itself out. Because I think at the end of the day, when the playoff has been set, since the playoff started, I don't think I've really disagreed with the 4 teams that have been in it. I haven't been outraged of a team that was left out. I think for the most part it's been right. So, early on, I think you can have outrage, but I mean, this is why you do it. This is why you have rankings. This is why we have polls to just create discussion and to stir some outrage. But I think when it's all said and done, at least the playoffs been right at the end of the day. It's just early on; it's not a big deal. So it doesn't really grind my gears. At least it's good for discussion, but I don't think it's anything to get too upset about because we're so far from a finished product.
One of those teams who feels like they got snubbed, Clemson, coming in at 5. They got a tough one against a loaded North Carolina State team. Clemson only favored by 32 points. North Carolina State pulls off this upset, don't they, Fish?
Probably not. Probably not. How's your record doing? Has it gotten better?
Oh, it has. I went 4-2 last week, man.
Yeah, he's
Did you?
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very disappointing success for him.
Clemson has won the last 5 games when playing North Carolina State. North Carolina State, however, is 6-3 against the spread in their last 9 playing Clemson. They've covered. I had a sneeze.
Bless you.
Oh my.
Bless you.
Oh my.
North Carolina State has covered the last 2 against Clemson
Yep.
as well. Now Clemson's got some other great numbers: 12-3 against the spread against conference opponents, 12-2 against the spread on the road on Saturdays. Now I'm going to sneeze again.
Bless you.
That one went away.
All right. I rescind that. Bless you.
Okay.
Yeah, that one went away. You can take that bless you back.
Yes.
Thank you. Clemson 9-1 against the spread on the road after 2 or more straight up wins as well. So a lot of good notes for Clemson. But again, I'm just sticking with the North Carolina State's covered the last 2 head to head, 6-3 in the last 9. I'm going NC State to cover the number.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, there it
is. Yes.
There it is. It was coming for a while, and there we go. Perfectly done. The sneeze seals it. Take NC State.
And
with my sneeze, pick of the week.
CJ's got his pick as NC State minus 32. I'll take that NC State plus. I'll take Clemson plus the 32. I'll go ahead and take that to the bank. All right, Fish. Let's go ahead and just knock it out while we can. Alabama, LSU, 1 versus 2. An O must go. The president's going to be there, trying not to get booed. He's going to keep looking, and I don't know. Maybe if you can't avoid getting booed here, then
I don't know where he goes.
There may be nowhere else to go.
Maybe
here.
that coffee shop in New York.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Maybe not New York. Coffee shop in probably a little maybe sort of Georgia. Maybe that guy. Maybe.
Y'all got coffee shops all over the place.
Oh, we got coffee shops all over the place.
Yeah.
LSU, Alabama. Alabama 6.5-point favorite, but has been sort of just against the number this year. This game is typically a bit grimy. Can Ed Orgeron continue his inexplicable dominance against top 10 opponents? Can Nick Saban put the crush on the Cajun Warrior? What's going to happen?
Well, since LSU last beat Alabama back in 2011, LSU has scored 9 points a game in those last 8 against Alabama.
It doesn't seem like
LSU is 6-1 against the spread this year, 8-2 against top 10 opponents, but both losses coming to Alabama. Ed Orgeron 9-3 against top 10 opponents since he left Ole Miss. LSU also 2-6 on the road against top 10 opponents, but they have won their last 2. Now Alabama has outscored SEC opponents 47-20 this year, although they haven't played anybody who's good. They've won 31 straight at home, 45-6 against SEC opponents at home, but 2 of those 6 losses to LSU. 24-13 against top 5 opponents, 8-4 against the number 1 team in the country, 9-4 against teams 7-0 or better. Head-to-head, Alabama's won 8 straight, and again, LSU in those 8 has averaged just 9 points per game. 4 of the last 5 have gone under, including the last 2. Under certainly the play here. I would say Alabama is the play here. And my main reason for saying Alabama is the play here is I'm not going down picking against Alabama. It's like picking against the Patriots.
That's true. It's true.
You need to just
make them beat you.
Picking against the Spurs to make the playoffs. I mean, at some point it's going to happen. At some point it will happen. But I don't want to be the one that guesses wrong. So I'm going Alabama minus the 6.5.
Arkansas has a winnable game this week against Western Kentucky. I thought it was until I looked at the line.
Is any game winnable from
it's
Arkansas's
one.
perspective?
It's a pick 'em basically, Rob. What's going on here? Who should I take?
Man, the doors at Club Dub are ready to blast open after that game in Fayetteville this weekend. It's the last opportunity for Club Dub to be open this year for Chad Morris's team. Arkansas 1-5 against the spread in their last 6. 0-3 against the spread their last 3 at home. They've lost 17 of 20 games, 9 of their last 12 at home, including their last 3. Western Kentucky 5-1 against the spread their last 6 games. According to the numbers, Western Kentucky is the play. According to the eye test, Western Kentucky is the play. Arkansas is dreadful, pathetic, a miserable, terrible football team. Chad Morris must go. He's got to go. You cannot go 2 years and not win a conference game. And you cannot have the lowest crowd in the renovated stadium's history and survive that. Chad Morris out as the Arkansas head coach. West Kentucky Hilltoppers come in and beat Arkansas straight up.
If we're firing Willie Taggart, we really need to be firing Chad Morris. There's no question about that. It's getting worse. It's not getting better, and it's awful. You're right.
There's no hope.
There's no hope. Proud people over there. You got guys decommitting. You got he really does need to go, and whoever jumps in there has got a very difficult task to try to rebuild. But my God, almost anyone could do better at this point. SMU just loving life without Chad Morris at the helm.
Yeah.
Penn State at Minnesota. Penn State feeling good about their number 4 placement in the CFP, but things will get a little trickier for the Nittany Lions, as they will for the undefeated Golden Gophers. Minnesota is still somewhat in control of their own destiny, and they are a 7-point dog at home, where they've been pretty good this year against the number, against, albeit, a lot of bad teams. I'm tempted here, though, to take Minnesota because I'm just not sure I believe fully in what Penn State is bringing me.
It's tough not to believe at this point about Penn State because James Franklin has been in a position against ranked opponents where they just have been miserable. They went to Iowa, they survived it, winning 17-12. Went to they took on Michigan, and it looked like they were going to roll with that number at 7.5. Well, They led 21-0. They won 28-21, didn't cover the point spread. And then they went to Michigan State, and they throttled them and covered that as well. So they're getting better against those better opponents that they're playing. Now, against Minnesota this week, as you mentioned, Minnesota really hasn't beaten anybody this year. Wins against Fresno State, Georgia Southern, Purdue, Illinois, Nebraska, Rutgers, Maryland. I mean, Nebraska and Illinois are their two best wins, I guess, of the season. And they were both at home as well. So a much bigger step up in competition for Minnesota this week. I like Penn State personally. The numbers, however, would say take Minnesota because Minnesota's 5-0 against the spread in their last 5 games. They have been covering, and the total's gone under in 5 of Penn State's last 6. Minnesota in the under, according to the numbers, but I like Penn State this week, so I'd stay away from that one.
I'm taking the under on the board. Give me the under 47.5.
Put the under on the board.
Put the under on the board. My record, by the way, 29, 28, and 2, slightly above 500. CJ 21, 35, and 1, still sporting a well below 40% winning percentage against the spread, which you'd be very good.
What's that over under on Penn
47 and a half. 47 and a half. Were you there for all the game day festivities, Fish?
No, man. I was in bed. I watched them on television from the comfort of my own bed.
Well,
I'm at that age where cold is not good for me, and neither is 6 o'clock in the morning.
So you missed out, man. It was a lot of
It
fun.
looked amazing. It looked awesome. I was very proud of Memphis and very excited about the whole day and the whole scene. It was awesome. It was awesome to watch. It was as big as could have been expected. It was really cool. I'm very excited about it. Looked awesome on television, and the excitement from the fans never stopped. And I'm glad they did it on Beale Street. And obviously, for the Tigers to come through with the victory at the end of the night made it all worth it.
It was a special time. There's no doubt about it. What do we think about Virginia Tech after a game showing against Notre Dame? They host Wake Forest. Wake Forest 19th in the CFP poll. The only other seemingly decent team in the ACC, apart from Clemson, and what a disastrous year it has been in the ACC. In Wake Forest, yet is only a 2-point favorite against I don't know. I think Virginia Tech's 5-3 is largely suspect. Virginia Tech, I think, just one win against the spread at home this year. This feels like a good spot to take Wake Forest, but then, I also feel like Wake Forest is probably due for some kind of correction here.
Well, Wake Forest's best win this year was against Florida State, who just fired their coach. They beat them by 2. Their second biggest win this year is probably against Utah State, and they beat them by 1. Wake Forest, though, they beat Rice, a team that doesn't have a win this year. They just got by North Carolina. They just got by Boston College. They just got by Florida State. They crushed NC State. So their best game, they're coming off their best performance of the year, which was last week against NC State. Virginia Tech, meanwhile, not sure how to figure that whole deal out for Virginia Tech. As they go on the road and really give Notre Dame all they could handle, and they've been playing better since Justin Fuente seemed as though he may be fired earlier this season. But Wake Forest, 9-1 straight up in their last 10. Virginia Tech's 4-1 in their last 5 when they've played Wake Forest, and they've covered 4 of the last 5 when playing at Wake Forest. The total's gone under in 5 of the last 6 games. Virginia Tech and the under is the play here. Go Hokie Bird.
Kentucky, Tennessee. Kentucky's opened as a 4-point favorite, and now that is basically a pick 'em. Some places have it as a -1. Others have it as a pick 'em. Who you like in that matchup, Rob?
Yeah, it's a weird one, but a very interesting one. Tennessee, 12-20 against the spread the last 3 years, but they've covered their last 4. Lost 18 of 22 against SEC opponents, but they have won 2 of the last 3. Kentucky, meanwhile, 10 of 12 at home. They've won. They've covered 4 of their last 5 at home, but they're 4-12 against the spread as a favorite. They're 6-15 against the spread after playing an SEC game. UT has won 32 of the last 34 matchups, including 6 of the last 7. And Tennessee has covered 6 of the last 7 head-to-head against Kentucky. Now, one interesting trend, Tennessee's gone under in 5 of the last 6 on the road. Kentucky's gone under in their last 5 games overall. But head-to-head in the series, it's hit the over in 4 of the last 5 years. Tennessee, certainly the play here, especially if they're getting points, and over the point spread, over the 43.5 as well, would be the play. But I like Tennessee a lot. I think Tennessee's playing a lot better football, and I think Kentucky cannot continue to survive with Lynn Bowden as their quarterback. This can't happen.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time that Kentucky beat Tennessee with a third-string wide receiver quarterback and whatever. So that's happened before. So let's not go too crazy. I think they can for one more week anyway, Fish. South Cackalack.
Are you saying you don't like Tennessee this week with the way that they've been playing?
I mean, they've certainly improved a lot. But I'm still a little bit skeptical. Let's just see. Jarrett
against Kentucky.
Kentucky should have beaten. Now, obviously, we're a few injuries aside, but Kentucky should have beaten Florida at home. Kentucky is feisty in that situation, and I'm still a little dubious about this recovery that we've seen from Tennessee. I think there's been some positive things, but I'm staying away from this game. It's a stay away from for me in this situation. Where does App State go? They lost the probably long shot dream of a Group of 5 bid for the Cotton Bowl and that sort of thing is out the window now for App State, and now they go just a little south and into South Cackalack, and Columbia is going to be waiting for them. 5-point favorite are the Gamecocks against a pretty good App State team, and they've been good on the road this year. Competition level a little bit different than we'll see here. Who do you like?
Yeah, much better competition here for App State that App State's going to see with South Carolina this week. I like South Carolina a lot. I think this number is rather insulting to an SEC team, to be honest with you. South Carolina 5-2 against the spread their last 7 at home, 31-3 against non-conference opponents their last 34 at home, 16-1 against Sun Belt teams. And how about this nugget? They've won 10 of their last 11 games against teams from the state of North Carolina.
Oh,
yeah. App State, yeah, they're 13-1 straight up in their last 14, and they're 17-6-2 against the spread in their last 25 games. But major step up this week. South Carolina, number not adjusted for the competition this week. South Carolina's the play.
K-State pulled off a pretty sizable upset against Oklahoma. They got Texas this week. They're 7-point dogs. Can they cover and win that game?
Yes, they can. They can cover and they can win this game. And Kansas State has been a covering machine this year, and it will continue because they've been a covering machine in the past 15 years against Texas. Kansas State 12-3 against the spread the last 15 years against the Longhorns. 12-3 against the spread. Also under big here. The total's gone under in 5 of Kansas State's last 6 when these two teams have played. So Kansas State and the under. Love the Wildcats this week.
Love the Wildcats. All right.
Yeah, love them.
Florida International at Florida Atlantic.
Yeah.
2 of the teams in Florida.
Owls versus Panthers?
Probably the best ones. I don't know. Hard to say. Outside of
Central Florida's still there.
I mean, certainly UCF and Florida are there, but Florida State, is Florida State better? I'm not so sure they are at this point. Florida Atlantic, a 10-point favorite at home against Florida International. And, Fish, I'm tempted to take the fight in Lane Kiffin's here because, the number has not been kind to FIU this year.
No, Florida International, they are 4-1 straight up in their last 5 games. FAU, 6-1 straight up in their last 7 games. So cross those two out.
Okay.
Florida Atlantic, however, is 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games, and Florida Atlantic has covered the last 3 meetings against Florida International.
Mm-hmm.
The total has gone over in 4 of the last 5 matchups.
Excitement.
FAU and the over, the play this week.
Love it.
For the Florida Directional.
Love it. I mean, I got FAU up on the board for old Pedro.
Put it on the board.
Put it on the board. What do you think about the Holy War? Not the BYU Utah one. The real Holy War. The intra-religion war. You've got Liberty, the evangelical Notre Dame versus the Mormon Notre Dame of BYU. One religion must be defeated.
On the football field.
On the football field.
Down with Liberty!
And it's Liberty, a.k.a. Evangelical Christianity, a 17-point dog to the Mormons at home. What do we see here?
Liberty's been pretty good as far as covering the number. They are 6-1 straight up in their last 7 games. BYU 9-4 against the number in their last 13 games. Now, over is a good play here. The total's gone over in 4 of Liberty's last 6, and the total's gone over in 4 of BYU's last 5. Here's the big number that sways me to BYU. The calendar is flipped to November, my friend. BYU, the Cougs, 8-1 against the spread in the month of November.
Wow.
The last 2 years. Take the Cougs and take the over.
You can't spell November BYU without BYU. And you're exactly
right.
About that. You can spell November without BYU pretty easily. But you can't spell November is good to BYU without BYU. Ole Miss. New Mexico State.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. What do you think?
Yeah.
4 touchdowns. That seems like a lot for Ole Miss.
Yeah, but really all you have to do is look at what New Mexico State has done, and Vegas has just not been able to catch up with how pitiful they really are. New Mexico State 3-10-1 against the spread in their last 14, 5-15 against the spread the last 2 years, 4-14 against the spread as an underdog, 4-12 against the spread against non-conference opponents. They just can't get the number right on New Mexico State. They're that bad against the number. Meanwhile, Ole Miss has covered 4 of their last 5 games. They've lost 2 of 3 against non-conference opponents, but again, 4-1 against spread in their last 5, and 11-20 against the spread last 3 years. But again, they've covered 4 of their last 5. They've gone under in 8 of their last 12, and New Mexico State's gone under in 7 of their last 10. Under a good, strong play here, and I would say Ole Miss is the play minus the 28.5 question mark.
Ooh, a lot of excitement there.
But New Mexico State is so pitiful against the number that if you play this game, you play Ole Miss.
That's true. I'll give you that. Last thing, Fish. Here's my pick of the week, lock of the week. Put it on the board, CJ. Ohio State minus 27 in the first half against Maryland. This game will be 6 touchdowns at the half, easily. And I don't know what the final score is going to be, but I know what the first half score is going to be. And it's going to be a whole lot because Maryland has basically just given up after a very strangely successful start to the season. They have pooped themselves silly.
Ohio State has covered the first half all season long.
Yep.
No reason to think that they wouldn't cover the first half again this week. I'm thinking 42 possibly on the board in the first half of this one. Ohio State's the play for the game as well. They're 7-1 against the spread this year, 5-0 in their last 5 games against the number. Maryland's 2-5 against the spread in their last 7. Ohio State's 7-1 against the spread as a favorite. Ohio State is surely in the play, and as first half is concerned, yes. I mean, we make a first half play every week down in Tunica, the odds couple, and Ohio State is on the ticket every single week. And they've been money every single week. Take Ohio State, especially this week, for sure.
Love it. We'll see you down there tonight, Fish. Everybody can follow Fish at The Fish Nation, of course, and watch the odds couple on your Grind City app. You can. It's all there for you. Grind City media stuff, and we'll see what Karl Anthony Towns has for the Grizzlies tonight. Coming back from a 2-game suspension, we'll discuss that. That's probably
Brevin Knight calls him the new Kevin Love.
That's damning with faint praise there in certain ways. That's a backhanded compliment. So I think that's probably pretty appropriate. Fish, thank you, sir. Always a pleasure.
All right, fellas.
He's a good man. He's Rob Fisher joining us. We got some picks on the board. We'll come back. We'll talk a little bit about that Grizzlies Timberwolves matchup as we continue here on the program. Brought to you by friends at Acura of Memphis, online, AcuraMemphis.com. Go see them. 385 in Ridgeway. Great new deals. The RLX, TLX, the MDX, RDX. It's all there for you. Lease rates, purchase rates are spectacular. You will love it. The business that they do is for you. It's out there for you. So they take care of their customers and make sure that you are satisfied before the sale, during the sale, after the sale. It's all about the customers and the customer service at Acura Memphis. Find out more online, AcuraMemphis.com. Go see them at 385 in Ridgeway. Great folks at Acura of Memphis. Back after this. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Get happy with Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. Weekday afternoons from 1 till 3 on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
You have to be up in 5 hours, 2 hours, 6 minutes. And when you hear, you realize that you haven't slept a wink. That's why there's ZzzQuil Pure Z's, a drug-free blend of botanicals with an optimal dose of melatonin, so you can fall asleep naturally with no next-day grogginess. It's available in both liquid and gummies, tastes great, and is non-habit forming. Pick up ZzzQuil Pure Z's from the sleep experts at Vicks ZzzQuil. ZzzQuil Pure Z's, naturally superior sleep. Available at retailers near you.
I really didn't think it was possible to make Sweetgrass any better.
And yet they did. With Sweetgrass and Next Door merging into one big place, you get the best of both worlds.
Exactly. We still get our favorites from the Sweetgrass menu, some of the best food in town.
And we get to watch the games that were always on at Next Door, but now you can see them from anywhere in the place.
It's like a nice restaurant with extra added sports goodness. They kept what was special about each place and added them together to make something new and different.
Great restaurant.
Great bar. Sweetgrass Next Door really is Memphis's greatest neighborhood place. You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately? Everything, a tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels and gold and silver and more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, diamonds, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts in wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis, local and family-owned. Whatever your dream, make it come true at James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Not getting hassled, not getting hustled. Keeping your head above water. Making a way when you can.
Temporary layoffs.
Easy credit rip-offs. Good times. Strapping and surviving. Good times. Hanging in a child line. Ain't we lucky we got 'em?
Like, we need more theme songs like this.
That show was depressing, but okay, I get what you're saying.
No, I mean, it's sort of
hanging in the shower line is not my idea of a good time.
Temporary layoffs.
That's not a good time, but I get it.
No, I just mean the mood setting and the way that the song embodied what the show was, which was crushing depression over systematic poverty and all sorts of racial disparity that you can look at it however deep you want to, but by God, we're going to try to make it seem as if we are happy and we're going to do the best we can. And that song is exactly what
that is. That is exactly that
it's
song.
like we're getting the whole church vibe. We're getting the tambourines out. We're going, because like if we don't, we're going to be real depressed. So we're just going to have to, by God. Yeah. I feel like it embodied the show perfectly.
Yes. That is one of the great theme songs because, like you said, that's what the show was. That is what it was. We are poor. We are struggling, but damn it, we're going to smile about this. We're going to try and make this work the best way we know how. And then James died. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
R.I.P. to James.
Fictional deaths I still can't get over.
Too soon.
R.I.P. James.
Is there going to be a fictional death tonight? A returning Karl Anthony Towns.
What a segue.
Somebody's going to catch it. Yes. To answer your question, yes, there is.
With the Grizzlies, and obviously you've got Jonas Valanciunas, who's still on a minutes restriction. He is a big dude and can theoretically handle himself against Cat. But apart from that, Grizzlies have been playing the likes of Kyle Anderson and Brandon Clark, who himself seems to be on a minutes limitation, and others as a backup center for this group. So Cat 40 and 20, like Anthony Davis. We're gonna
something along those lines. He's going to go off for all the reasons.
Kentucky big just destroying the Grizzlies. Is that what we're going for?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much. Okay. Because like you said, if you've got Jonas on a minutes restriction, And Jonas, while he's an NBA veteran, he's limited as to what he can do and stop
Cat can hit threes.
He can,
pull up, he's not
like
gonna
he
be,
can't run out there and guard him. Cat can drive by him. So he's limited in what he can do. And then you're going to can't throw Brandon Clark at him because Brandon Clark, not quite yet, he's not able to handle like elite bigs.
No, he's way.
And then you're going to throw Kyle Anderson at him just to get gobbled? Cat will be able to do what he wants to.
Bruno?
Oh, he's going to work him too. Like who? I don't know what you do to slow him down. The only thing that can stop Cat is Cat. Cat is going to go off tonight.
That's why he's coming back from that 2-game suspension after the
wants to make a statement.
Embiid. I feel like he's in a certain type of mood.
Oh yeah.
So
this is not a good one.
This could get interesting.
Yeah, somebody's got to catch this, and unfortunately, it's probably going to be the Grizzlies.
It feels like the Grizzlies are in the way of something. And now we'll find out more about maybe Jaren. I mean, if Jaren can play, I'm just knowing the Grizzlies and this year. And how conservative they are being about minutes restrictions and about injury stuff, it just seems to me unlikely that Jaren would play. And even if he played, would he get what kind of minutes restriction would he be on? I mean, it's the year of load management. He's listed as probable tonight, so he's probably going to play, but I'm saying he's probably going to be pretty limited in what they do, because they already kind of keep an eye on those minutes pretty soundly anyway. And Jaren, he's by far your best hope against Cat, but obviously he could also foul. He can foul out in 10 minutes if he doesn't keep his mind on straight against an offensive big. If Cat's in that kind of a mood,
yeah, just go to work on him. Even with Jaren out there, I thought that they would the way the season was going, I thought they'd rest him another game, but. They're going to trot him out there. He will, like you said, most likely be on minutes restriction as well. And his awareness isn't all the way there yet on the defensive side of the ball. So a player like Cat, who is as skilled and versatile as he is on the offensive side of the ball, he's going to be able to bait Jaren in ways we've seen Jaren baited before early this season and last season and even going back to college and get him in foul trouble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I think it's so
again, to your point, to your original question, yeah, nobody's out there gonna stop him.
No, I hope we'll see more. Again, I'm dubious as to how much we're gonna see from Jaren and how much we're gonna see from any. I mean, there's just a tremendous amount of concern, I guess, and maybe too much concern for from the Grizzlies for some of these guys. And some of the young guys, especially we talked yesterday about Ja Morant's minutes. Did you see? I just fired up the old statistical machine, the play index from Basketball Reference, just for fun yesterday. And Ja Morant, he's averaging 25.7 assists per 36 minutes. He's shooting the ball very well, 54% from the field, 50% from three, 70-something% from free throw line. His true shooting percentage, incorporating all of those into one handy-dandy stat, which is nice, is 59.6%. That's very high. So I said, well, who's ever had a rookie season? We're way too early, obviously. It's 6 games. 76 more games to go.
Okay.
A lot of games.
Yeah.
So we got a long way to go. But, I mean, what is life if not looking ahead and just being, overly excited or whatever. So 25-7 per 36 in your rookie season on over 55% true shooting. And Ja Morant is way over that right now. Do you know who the other? There are only 2 guys who have done it, and Ja is doing it now. He's one. He probably won't do it for the whole season. Maybe he will. That'd be great. But probably won't. But there's only one other guy who actually did it in his rookie season. Had those numbers.
I guess Oscar Robertson? I remember watching him play ball way back when. He was really, really good. I remember his rookie year.
I don't know how you knew that.
His rookie year, he was outstanding.
I don't know how you knew that, but
that sounded like a left field guess there.
And it was.
Like a guy that just kind of out of nowhere, like just kind of threw that.
I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret. I'm pretty damn smart when it comes to answering this sort of stuff when it's already been asked to me and I already have the answers. Pretty damn good at it.
I was gonna let you have it.
Oh, you can't let me have that. People might actually think I know what I'm talking about.
I was going to let you have that.
No, don't let me have that.
Oh, that's just, no.
No.
Next thing you know, CJ's going to be bombarded with sports questions.
Yeah, and I don't want your sports questions. I love sports. Don't get me wrong. I don't want your sports questions.
Mine?
Anybody's.
Oh. Why not?
Because I don't know.
That hasn't stopped Stephen A. and Skip Bayless and all these dudes, man.
Great people I should be like.
Yeah, they don't
Great
know.
role models.
They don't know
Good
either.
point.
They're
Good
making
point.
lots
and
of
they're
money.
making lots of money.
They're-
I changed that. I'm looking at the camera. Send me your sports questions. I have all of the answers.
I mean, if you ask Stephen A., do you really think you're getting like his real thoughts? No, he's just getting, he's wild now. He's having fun. He's an entertainer.
I should wild out more.
That's beautiful. That's the way it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be entertaining.
But Oscar
Robertson is correct. Yes,
Yes.
the only other player who, and I say only other player, like right now, the only player to have done it, because Ja's a long way from doing it over the course of a full season. But to even at this point, just even kind of sniff in that a long way, granted, but you're in that zone. It tells you how rare, what he's doing in terms of being efficient scoring, along with being productive, and also being able to distribute and pass. And a reminder that his teammates have missed most of his good passes, so he could have had way more than 7 assists per game, per 36. He could have done way more than that. So
yeah,
probably should be closer to 9 or 10 if guys were going to finish the stuff that they're supposed to finish. So it's
just wide open looks.
A lot of wide open looks just been clanked. So that is a little bit of the frustration, but he is phenomenally exciting. And it means, man, FedEx Forum is the place to be. Because last night you watched Wiseman, put up 28 and 11, 3 blocks, doing all kinds of just big man stuff, killing South Carolina State. Precious doing his thing. A lot of interesting. And then, Grizzlies got, Jaren. We'll see what Jaren does, but John Morant. Like, there's a lot of individual talent. There are going to be a lot of NBA wins, but there's going to be a lot of individual talent.
And last week, Elton John was in FedEx Forum. Like
Hell
it is absolutely the place you want to be if you're a fan of Memphis.
Lottery pick, as I recall, back in the day.
Sir Elton John was?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Sir Elton Hercules John
That's
was
right.
okay.
That's right.
CBE? Okay.
That's right. Commander of the British Empire, absolutely. And it was, coming out of the draft, a lot of people were concerned in college just about his productivity and can he take it to the next level, but he absolutely did.
Yes, he did.
And
still playing.
Yeah. I think his ability to play the piano and just a multi-talented superstar.
Yes.
Cher's coming too.
I did not know Cher was coming. Okay.
Tickets went on sale yesterday. They are
and
super expensive. Cher she's real proud of herself.
And I was going to say Celine Dion is going to be there as well.
Oh, like we are just bringing all the stars out to FedEx Forum.
Stars are
James
shining.
Wiseman, Precious Achua, John Morant, Elton John,
Cher,
Celine. Oh, so many stars at the Forum.
That's it.
Got to get there.
That's it. You got to get there.
And for the millennials out there, if you like Ariana Grande, she's going to be there as well.
Zach is all the way up on who's going to be at FedEx Forum. I did not.
Well, Zach works down there a lot.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I forgot.
Zach's down there a lot, so
I forgot.
He gets the meetings. Like, hey,
at this point, you see the commercials roll on the screens everywhere I go, so I just remember.
That's true. Ariana Grande. If you watch the broadcast, there's a lot of Ariana Grande on the broadcast.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a lot of Cher. Although, like I said, those tickets are crazy expensive.
Yeah.
Like real expensive.
Yeah.
Let's take a break. We'll come back. Finish up. Gabe Kuhn slipping in for some reason.
Get out, Muscle Milk. We no longer need you.
Yeah. Your services are no longer needed in the morning, sir. We'll get back into the Tigers last night and some impressions from a very successful debut for James Wiseman as we continue here on The Experience in the Family Leisure Studios. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 961 877.
Listen online anywhere, anytime at sports56whbq.com.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roofing. It is that time of year where the weather is unpredictable, and given the recent storms, it's a good time to discuss insurance claims. So here's a few things you should know. Always hire a local contractor, because if you have a problem with your roof down the road, you want to be able to find him. Never allow anyone to pressure you into signing a contingency contract. They're used as sales tools, making you feel committed, and the truth is, those contracts are not worth the paper they're written on. Be careful of door-knocking salesmen. Some are reputable, but many are not. They canvass the neighborhood and tell everyone to file a claim, working their percentages and not caring if you file a claim, even when they know the likelihood of it being approved is low. Some will even damage your roof, hoping to convince the adjuster it's storm damage. That's fraud, and contractors have gone to jail for that. So do your research and know who you're hiring. Five-Ash Roofing, the official roof of the University of Memphis Athletic Department. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
You're scrambling around. You need a haircut. Where you gonna go? I got a place that has 15 locations. I've got a place where details matter. I've got a place that can be invigorating and relaxing at the same time. You know what it is. It's Supercuts. Every haircut ends with the signature hot towel finish. Every haircut matters. When you're getting ready, you go into Supercuts. The stylist will pay attention to every detail, so you get the haircut you want, and of course, you're going to finish with that signature hot towel. You walk out clean, sharp, and not just ready, but super ready. And you might want to ask that hairstylist about what the tea tree experience is. One part invigorating, one part relaxing. The tea tree experience is something you need to try. 15 locations. I mentioned that, didn't I? All you've got to do is go to supercuts.com. You'll find the one nearest to you. Get super ready at Supercuts.
Dirt happens, as well as debris, dust, and damage. And when they happen to you, you need good, clean, fast service. You need Hilo Commercial Services. Hilo specializes in construction, commercial, food plant, and industrial cleaning with customized service just for you. Hilo is also an expert at high dusting to clean hard-to-reach places. When dirt happens, call Hilo Commercial Services, 901-277-6733, or visit HiloCommercial.com. Hilo Commercial Services, good, clean, and fast for you.
Memphis, it's official. Crab King Seafood is where it's at. For the most flavored seafood and biggest plates, run to a Crab King's near you. Visit our Bartlett Cordova location at 7140 Stage Road or our East Memphis location at 5992 Knight Arnold Road. Starting this week, get 3 juicy snow crabs, 17 shrimps, 2 whole sausages, 2 corn, 2 eggs, and a large side of potatoes for only $43.99. That's right, $43.99. The price, the portions, the service is why Crab Kings is #1. Make the right choice the first time. Make it Crab Kings. Come and devour our tasty snow crabs, king crabs, shrimp, salmon, and catfish. Enjoy Memphis' best tasting pastas with your choice of toppings. Visit our Bartlett Cordova locations at 7140 Stage Road or our East Memphis location at 5992 Knight Arnold Road. Crab Kings is open Tuesday through Sunday. For more information, Google Crab Kings Memphis or download the app Crab Kings, a Memphis original.
You're in charge of hiring, and Indeed has solutions, like online skills tests, which let a candidate show that they're the right hire. We'll also have a dolphin chatter excitedly in front of the perfect candidate. Okay, there's no dolphin. But skills tests, that's a for sure.
See why independent research by Silk Road shows Indeed delivers 3 times more hires than any other job site. Visit Indeed.com/promo today and get a free sponsored job upgrade on your first posting. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply.
Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
my favorite TV shows of all time. You'd be hard pressed to show me a season 1 and a season 2 better than Boondocks. Season 1, season 2.
Favorite character?
Favorite character? Ooh. Ruckus. Ruckus, because he is such a character and he is so absurd. And he thinks he's making valid points and he's not. He's not. Ruckus is the black guy who hates black people. And it is every bit as absurd as you might think.
For me, it is Ruckus, and I also like Stink Meaner.
Oh, Stink Meaner. Again, man. Your moment. You know the moment I'm talking about, Zach. Your moment. Okay.
Yeah, that moment.
That moment, yes. Peter, are you aware of the moment?
No.
Okay. Well, I have to off air. Because there are some words that get said, and you can't say the words on there.
But besides that, R.I.P. to John Witherspoon.
R.I.P.
Granddad.
Granddad.
Yeah.
Sad.
Very sad.
And they're coming back. He's not going to be there. It's going to be interesting.
I know he's bringing it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
McGrew's bringing it back.
Yeah.
No Witherspoon, no. But it's cool. Regina's so talented. Oh, my gosh.
Is she back in?
Yeah. Yes. She's Riley and Huey.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, I know her profile is, been raised in the intervening years.
Mm-hmm. She's great in Watchmen also. Watchmen is out on right now.
I hear that's good.
It is.
I'm going to.
It is.
Yeah, I'm trying to find just.
Can't find a moment. Stop watching all these damn basketball games, Peter.
That's my job. It's my job. It's my job. So a texter was asking about Arkansas and their basketball last night, and kudos to them, just absolutely stomped Rice, just crushed them. Mm-hmm. And another guy that I get excited about,
who?
Isaiah Joe.
Really?
Great name, first of all.
Yes. Is he any relation to Cotton Eye?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Cuppa also.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Isaiah Joe can flat out stroke it. I mean,
I like
you
a
talk
good
about
stroker.
We be stroking.
Yes.
He's stroking it all day, all night. You get it. He will be firing it. My man can shoot. You want a shooter. I don't. He did some other stuff yesterday, which was interesting too. 24 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. Last year, he was basically a one-trick pony, but it's a good trick. Took 8 threes a game last year and shot almost 42%.
Yeah, that's a damn good trick to have.
That's a good trick. Took 11 last night, 4 of 11. Took 18 shots. He's going to stroke it.
Okay.
He's a super fun player to watch. And just just keep an eye on him.
I will.
But
thank you for mentioning him.
For my prism of NBA purposes, a volume 3-point shooter who has excellent form and has shown an ability to make a pretty high level while also taking a high level. That's he took 17 threes in a exhibition game earlier.
And that line is back further now. College players.
He's got range. I'm not worried about.
He's got
the range. The range is not an issue for Isaiah Joe. I mean, is he going to be like I don't know, lottery? I'm not saying that, but a guy to watch. Yeah, and in Arkansas, there's something there.
Okay.
Mason Jones, very nice start for him as well. 32 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 steals. Another guy that you're going to want to keep an eye on. Sills is good. I mean, they've got some good, talented dudes. Bailey looked good last night. So I think not a bad start. Absolutely whipping Rice. I have no idea if Rice is even. I don't know anything about Rice. So either that was a very impressive start for Arkansas or the expected start based on Rice. I haven't done my research on Rice. Same thing with last night. With all due respect to South Carolina State, what were they supposed to do with James Wiseman?
Nothing. They exactly what you saw them do. Absolutely. Excuse me. Absolutely nothing. I had a hiccup.
It happens sometimes.
Yeah.
It was a little bit like what we talked about with Anthony Davis that when the Grizzlies.
Mm-hmm. And what we mentioned with Karl Anthony Towns tonight.
It's like when you have a guy that's that big and stronger, that much bigger and stronger. And in the case of Wiseman, super big, long, athletic, all that stuff that these South Carolina State dudes are not.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. I mean, it's, within the first, you could tell, it was one of those where you could tell within the first minute exactly how this game was going to go.
Yeah.
First possession down, seal, over the top, bing, bang, boom. Second possession, offensive rebound, off a three, no one even coming close to Wiseman. Put back slam, bing, bang, boom. You knew that was all night. He had spectacular dunks. He nearly killed himself in one dunk. He's gonna be really good.
Mm-hmm.
And the Tigers last night, you could see the size, the length, the versatility. There's a lot to work with. They got a lot of talent, man.
Yes.
Is it all gonna work out? It's gonna take some time. There's definitely some rawness there, but man, the talent level is through the roof.
Mm-hmm. That's what happens when you bring in the number 1 ranked recruiting class, folks. Just be more talented there, everybody.
More talenteder?
Yeah, more talented than everybody.
That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's well said.
Thank
you. Gotta have some dudes and some dogs on the team. Dudes that can play and dogs that can
Bark.
be your enforcers.
I mean, that's got to go up.
Yeah.
It's the end of the show, but dudes and dogs, like, come on.
Dudes and dogs. Got to have some dudes, and you got to have some dogs. It's the dudes and dogs philosophy.
Any particular breed of dogs?
I mean, I'm thinking of a Doberman Pinscher.
Okay. All right.
Dudes and Dobermans?
Dudes and Dobermans. Oh, my. Okay.
All right. Well, that's Similac Zach finishing strong.
Yes.
First solo show. Keeping us on the rails. Congratulations to him for that. Well played. He gets all the thanks. Great job, Zach.
Oh, wait. You can thank your boy.
Yeah, Fish. I will thank you. Rob Fisher, of course. Big thanks to him. Yeah.
I'm right across from you.
You are. And so you should thank Fish, too.
Thank you, Rob.
That's right.
All right, now.
Great job. We got to get out of here.
Huh?
Coming up next, Middays.
You're
Bye.
never going to thank me.
Nope.